It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast with your friend Mike. It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast that you like, 'cause it's free. Here he comes now. He's gonna sit down. It's gonna start.
Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Hey, I should probably return to the land of the living, right? I should return to society. That's a good idea. I should crawl out of the darkness of my apartment, my four walls? No, I got more than four walls. Fuck that. I can afford more than four walls. Who the fuck do you people think you are, putting me in a four-wall prison? I'm not a rat in a cage, despite all of my rage. Billy Corgan bought a wrestling organization. Did you know that? He just bought the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, which used to mean something when I was a kid, but now you know what it means? It means it's a bankrupt wrestling organization owned by a failed lead singer. Not failed, that seems weird. I don't want to say washed up either. He's a fucking rock star. Billy Corgan's a rock star, so I can't fucking rip him. That goes against all of my instincts. However, he did, and who the fuck am I kidding? I'm sitting here going, I gotta pay my electric bill. He bought a wrestling organization that I idolized when I was a kid. Billy Corgan has it all over me, for fuck's sake. You think he's got four walls? I don't think so. That guy's car doesn't have four walls. He's got a car with 8 walls. He's got an 8-wall car. He's got an 8-wall tire? 4-wall tire? What's that thing? 4-wall tire, right? 4 walls? White walls? White wall tires. That's what it is. 8 walls? I don't fucking know. Hi. How you doing? I'm back. I put out a show last night, sort of. I mean, I talked in circles for a little bit, and then I put out an older show from year 3 to remind you that I used to be good at this, and there used to be people who laughed at it. That's because I climb into my own fucking head and tell myself I'm no good at this, that I'm not anybody who anybody would want to listen to. It's weird and it's strange. I crack my head open, my skull with a can opener, because I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you folks flat out. Last week I did a show, it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I felt it was fucking genius, and I loved it, and I put it out there, and then I got nothing from people. I mean, I got some people who liked it, which was great, but it's never enough. That's let's put it that way. It is never enough what I get from people, and that's not your fault. That's my fault. That's my fault for being a goddamn, you know what I am? I'm like if you were to tackle the Balrog and fall into me, you would never hit bottom, not unlike Gandalf. You guys would just be flying all the way down and never hit bottom. That's who I am. I'm the bottomless well from Lord of the Rings, and inside of me at all times there is an Ian McKellen churning around wrestling a Balrog, and I try to bring that to you every week. And now I've thought to myself, well, there's got to be different ways to do this. I've actually talked to Max about how to change the show. Our great friend, super fan Gio, has said to me, hey, you should do this or do that. Everybody's got an opinion except me, folks. My opinion is that I'm no good at this anymore, which is dumb. It's not really my opinion, because also then I go the other route, and I'm like, hey, I'm really fucking great. And I just did episode Shit Brigade, a month ago? Where it's really hard to peekaboo your feelings and just go, you know what, I'm going to be fine, onward, Sancho. And then I saddle up a fucking horse or a camel, and I grab a lance, and I tilt at a windmill, and everybody likes me. And by the way, there's no artwork for this episode either, because again, David and I haven't even talked to him today. He wrote me, but I will tell you this, the real reason, well, that's bullshit. One of the reasons I wanted to do a show this week, even after putting up yesterday's rerun, in my head I was like, well, maybe I could get away with just leaving that up, that a moose boo, shut up, dick, do a fucking show, it's your job. And there's nothing wrong with it being a job. It's a great job. But the thing is, I look at it like a job, and so then I make myself go, but I'm no good at this job. Nobody likes it because I'm a fucking weirdo. But I know that you like it. I don't need attaboys and reassurances, but I do. We know that because there's a fucking page called the Attaboy Schmitty page or whatever the fuck, which has also suffered, not by me, because there's a million people on there now lifting and posting pictures of treadmills and themselves jumping around. There's also 2 very unfortunate pictures of feet on there. One of them mine, because I had a zombie foot. And so I threw up a picture of my zombie foot, which was not good. I shouldn't have thrown up a picture of a zombie foot. But then it led our friend Jolene to put up a picture of her thorn-filled foot. We got a zombie foot and a thorn-filled foot. If that doesn't make you want to join the fucking Little Schmitty Attaboy Fit Brigade, I don't know what does. Get on there and put your feet on there, folks. That's what it is. It's, this whole thing was a cover story for a foot fetish page. Fuck you and you're running on treadmills and your bullshit diets and your Spencer Mahar climbing rock walls. I want you to go up and just put your bare feet on the goddamn page and show it to everybody. That's what we're looking for. Not you guys either. I'm the only one who gets zombie foot on there. You guys keep your feet sheathed, but ladies, unleash those feet. That seems horrible and gross, right? Doesn't that seem weird that I would go ahead and say something like that? Oh, let's put it this way. If I'm dating a lady, unsheath your feet, ladies. But if I'm not dating you, then please keep your feet to yourself, because I can't be that person. It's the apocalyptic times, folks. All of my state is burning down, and you can't say or look the wrong way because terrible things will happen. And that makes sense, because you know what? For years and years, furtive glances have ruled the day. Men have been able to put hands on ladies, on shoulders and backs and hugs and all sorts of nonsense, and they've gotten away with it up to this point. And now, when ladies step up and go, hey, fuckhead, why are you hugging me? Hey, fuck dick, why are you going ahead and touching my hair? Why are you even asking me about my dress? And guys, here's my favorite part is when guys are like, oh man, I was just being nice and I'm just trying to tell you that you're pretty or whatever. Hey, fuck, she's a person. You don't have to tell her that she's pretty. Save that shit for your dog. You know what I mean? You know who likes that shit? Dogs, pets, because they can't, well, they might even like it. Let's put it that way. Dogs and pets might not like it, but they don't have the voice that a lady has. Ladies can go ahead and stand up for themselves, and you know what? They probably have been for fucking years and years, telling creeps to back the fuck off, and creeps just are creeps. They're just going to go ahead and be fucking creeps. They're going to walk up and touch a lady's hair, or fucking, and look, by the way, I keep hearing all these stories about everybody's like, oh my god, this indiscriminate touching and the hugging and the weirdness. Hey, I've done that shit. Not with ladies. I've done it with dudes. I told a story on here when I walked up to Tommy Lee and I grabbed his neck. How fucking bananas was that? I still think about that story and I'm like, how the fuck did that guy not kill me? How did I not wind up in a goddamn tabloid somewhere? I literally walked up behind that dude. I grabbed him behind the neck and I went, Tommy, why? Why would I ever be that familiar with that dude? Because that's not me at all. Like, I don't even know what fucking came over me, but it happened. I was probably so happy. I was so drunk on the idea of having my favorite sushi that I just reached out and I touched Tommy on the way in. Tommy, stupid fuckhead, keep your hands to yourself. That's what the Georgia Satellites would tell you. Ooh, hold on. I just had a weird inhale. But the point is, leave ladies alone, all right? Let ladies be ladies. Let them just be people, for fuck's sake. Quit sitting next to them on buses and quit pulling your cock out at work and all this other bullshit. Look, I'm not saying anything new. It's been said by people for weeks and weeks here. I love when people are like, well, are we ever going to, maybe we just won't be able to be alone in a room with a woman. No, just fucking control yourself, you ass fuck. Just don't touch them or do anything weird. Why don't you treat them like another person? Here's a good idea. Why don't you treat them as if you were in there with a respected colleague or coworker? Because that's who the fuck they are. Get off their fucking dick. Leave these girls alone. Leave these ladies alone. Leave these women alone. I don't know, whatever their preferred term is. Leave them alone, for fuck's sake. Unless a lady and you're on a date and she gives you the sign or whatever the fuck, you just consent. That's the big thing. Consent. It's all about consent. It's all about you reaching out and seeing, she likes you, you like her. We're a happy family with a knick-knack, paddywhack. Give your dog a bone. But don't give that lady a bone because you're going to get in fucking trouble, man. Keep your bone to your fucking self. That's the whole point of this song. Fuck. My point is, folks, that there is no artwork for this show because I didn't even reach it. So I did this show because one of the reasons I made myself do a show this week. And it's not made myself. I like doing the show, but I tell myself nobody wants to hear it. It's so stupid. And then I'm like, oh, why am I trying? And why nobody cares about you? And it's weird fucking ghosts in my head. And I don't know if I got to chew up some kind of fucking pill or if I got to go to a goddamn Zig Ziglar meeting or some of the Eckhart Tolle bullshit and have somebody tell me, no, man, maybe, you know what? Franken's done. Al Franken quit. Maybe I can get him to fucking Stuart Smalley me. Just come over here and sit here with a fucking wig and tell me I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and people like me, dog fucking gone it. He doesn't have anything else going on these days because except for posing for photos with Leanne Tweeden and forcibly kissing 8 women, although he denies some of that now. And I mean, everybody's like, oh, well, it's he said, she said. Well, I got news for you. It's time to listen to she said. Let's let her say her piece. And everybody goes, okay, cool. And let's fucking take care of it, for God's sake. But that said, as I've mentioned many shows ago, I'm just be cool. That's all you got to do. I'm a be coolocrat. I'm not this guy. I'm not the guy. Just be fucking cool. Quit passing tax bills that fucking ruin everybody. The Supreme Court is hearing this case about gay cakes. What the fuck, man? What happened to this country? And this is another thing I've spent. All right, I will tell you exactly what led me to this position, what led me into this place. I went Friday last week. I went to the gym. I was doing great last week on my little Schmitty's Attaboy Fit Brigade. I was fucking lifting. I was running. I was doing all this cardio and bullshit. I was excited. I was checking in with people on the page and putting up pictures of myself because you know what? Like I said, we're all in this together. Let's all give attaboys. Let's all be there and rooting for one another. And I've gone in and I've liked posts and I've cheered people on Fitbit. And yet this week I've climbed into a goddamn sleeping bag inside a cave inside a well. That's how fucking dark it's been for me for some fucking weird reason. And not even dark. Not like I'm just like boo-hoo. I'm not fucking Morrissey, but at the same time, I'm sitting in my goddamn house and just inert. Does anybody else have that feeling of being inert? Does anybody else have that feeling of it's over? And it's the weirdest fucking thing, and I don't want to be that guy who casts aspersions and tells you, oh my God, boo, it's over. I'm happy you're happy. You've got kids, you got a wife, you got a husband, you got people you love and you care about, and I have those things ostensibly. But at the same time, when you don't have anybody like that to just turn to, like I was trying to explain it to somebody where I was like, it's funny because I played that show last night and there was a story. I don't know, you may not have listened to it, but there was a story in there about me going. And I was with my ex-wife at the time, and she was just accommodating me where she was just like, yeah, let's go. I can't deal with your bullshit. And I listened to that. I'm like, that's from 7 years ago. And I was doing the same fucking things, except now I don't have a fucking ex-wife to torment. That's what I don't have. I don't have anybody on my arm that I can look at and go, yeah, can you indulge me, please, in my nonsense? That would be fantastic because I am so tired of not having my nonsense indulged. I demand having my nonsense indulged 24 hours a motherfucking day, whether we're in line outside of a movie trying to get in and see a screening, or whether we're in an apartment and I'm looking outside at ash filling my swimming pool as the whole fucking world burns down. Good metaphor, by the way, for my week. It's just a strange thing. And so I avoid the microphone. I avoid it. I don't sit down and I don't talk. And then look what happens. I open the microphone now and look at me talking. Look at me just spitting words out all over the goddamn place. Like a Nas. I'm like an Eminem of podcasting. I'm a Nas. I'm just unleashing verses upon you and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to sit there and get overloaded with my fucking Nasness. And yet, when this finishes, when this posts, when you listen, you'll just go, nah, whatever. And then I got to do it again next week. And that's the thing that I get fucking crossed up with. The thing where I sit back and I go, well, you got to do that happen again. So I got to figure, like I said, I've talked to David, I've talked to Gio, I've tried to figure out a way to make the show. Because here's the thing. I used to always, I'd sit down and we'd fucking just create shit out of fucking whole cloth and spin around. And it was more fun for me to do that when I had somebody sitting across from me laughing and enjoying the show. So when Lily was involved, it was a better thing because I was doing a show. I actually felt like I was doing a show. Now I just feel like I'm talking into a goddamn box and hopefully and then I don't get feedback. Like with her, it's fucking, dude, you would think after 10 fucking years I would shake this, right? You would think after 10 years I'd just be like, well, but I mean, if you're on stage and you bomb, you get a fucking dry mouth and you get fucking nothing. You get no feedback and you don't think you're doing any good and you don't fucking hear it. It's the same thing when guys are talking about acting and they're like, you know what? Movies are movies, but I like doing a play. I like being on stage and you feel the smell of the grease paint and the roar of the boards or whatever the fuck. And everybody's out there and they're cheering for you and you can hear clapping and applause. But in a movie, if you're Brad Pitt, you got to eat the same orange 15 times in a doorway. You know what I mean? And everybody's like, fuck, whatever. It's got to be boring as fuck. All right, go to your trailer after 3 hours of chewing on the same orange. That's fucking rough for those dudes. And that's why they get paid so much. Because, it's so hard to eat an orange 15 times. Fuck me. All right, so it's different, man. It's different, and I know this is the thing is I didn't want to crack open my fucking skull and scrape out the marrow for you or the meat or whatever the fuck is inside my skull. There's no marrow, right? What if I do have a fucking skull full of marrow? Yeah, I got no brain. I just got a fucking dude. Then toast me up, cut off my head and cook me up, and then smash me open like a monkey in the faces of death, and just fucking pick out the marrow. No brains, because that's not a delicacy. My brain, if I had a brain inside me, it's been fried, it's burnt. Like if you open up my fucking skull right now, it would just look like creme brulee. That's how fucking burnt my brain is. You'd have to smash it with a spoon and then scoop out all the marrow underneath, for fuck's sake. Man, right now, I don't know what's going on inside my goddamn head. It's just I can tell you this, you crack it open and you hear woo, like some fucking ghost, a banshee would come wailing out at you and stare at you. But it's a banshee who doesn't like me. That's the thing. I wish I had a head full of ghosts who loved me. How great would that be? I see these arrogant dudes who are all like, it's like when I hear about, again, these sexual assault dudes, like Harvey Weinstein and all these motherfuckers, and they got the confidence to walk around with their fucking robes open and be like, yeah, how you doing, man? And they want to fucking rail some chick and they're going to hop over a couch and Daryl Hannah has to hide. And look, I don't envy that kind of hubris, all right? I think it's fucked. But on a certain level, I'm like, I've never been that dude. Like I said, maybe if I had a big cock, I would be that guy. Not that guy. I wouldn't be fucking raping people, but at the same time, I would be more confident about that sort of thing. I wonder if I hate to think that was the only thing keeping me from not being a harasser or a sexual abuser. I like to think that I'm a decent person inside. But also at the same time, I could not even ever imagine just being naked with some chick who didn't want me to be naked with her, because I would just be so fucking mortified by her reaction. I would crawl into a hole. And And it would have to be a gigantic fucking hole because I'm a house, folks. Don't kid yourselves. And there would be nothing better than for that woman than to see me shrink down and climb into a fucking giant hole. And then she just kicks me in the ass with her fucking Jimmy Choos. And and those are bloody shoes. I have a big red imprint on my ass. I don't know. I'm talking in circles here. That's the thing that happens when you roll downhill. You never know if you're saying the right thing or the wrong thing. But the good news is about no feedback from you guys is I'll never know if I'm saying the wrong thing. All right. I can just say whatever the fuck I want because nobody's listening to this goddamn thing, and I can just talk into fucking space and have it just go ahead. I just picture literally when I talk, I wish there was a way to just see my words fly out like skywriting and just have them fucking jump out. Like Rob Matsushita, our good friend Rob, you know, the guy who did that fucking show that I'm going to tell you about a little later in Iowa in the basement. He went ahead and he did that trailer for me where all my words fucking popped up. Man, that was cool. That was like 2012. Remember 5 years ago when people did cool shit like that for me? Now nobody does anything. That's a lie. I'm joking. I'm joking to all you people. Gio just threw his fucking phone through the window. Although Gio's another guy. He's kind of a phony. Gio's like, hey, man, I love your show. And Gio's like, I just texted with him all night tonight, and he's like, hey, you got to just fucking don't worry about it and do the thing. And he's very much a guy that I trust and I listen to, and he likes what I do, and that makes me happy. But then he's like, yeah, you know, I'd love to hear you talk about Thor on the show. Like, you know, just do like a half-hour show about Thor. I was waiting for your take, and I don't even know if you ever talked about it. I'm like, I talked about Thor for like 20 minutes 2 weeks ago. He's like, oh, yeah, I heard that. I'm like, oh, man. I understand you got 2 giant dogs and you're inventing dog leashes for them, but dude, give me a break. You got to fucking pay attention to what I'm saying. You're my guy. You're the only one who cares. That's horseshit, as you know, because why? You care and everybody cares. Exactly. But I climbed inside myself as of Friday. And again, if you're bored with these self-examining shows, you got to tell me. Because there are people who also written me and they're just like, you know, our friend Fearful Jesuit contacted me because he's going to be putting out a show here pretty soon. And I actually owe him a thing. I was supposed to record it for fucking 4 days and I'm hiding in my goddamn house and I stare at the microphone and you know what? I actually rehearsed it a few times. I'm like, all right, I can run this. And the 2 times, when I say a few times, bullshit. I rehearsed it twice. I won't lie to you. I rehearsed it twice and it fucked my throat up pretty good because there's some yelling involved. But then I kind of tabled it. And then he's like, hey, you going to get that to me by like Saturday? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, how about Sunday? And I'm like, okay. And he writes me back. He goes, what do you think? Tuesday? I go, dude, Tuesday for sure. I want to do it after I record my show. But then I didn't record this fucking show until now, as you can fucking see. So it's Thursday. And he knows me though, because even on Monday, he's like, if I could get it by Sunday morning, I'd be happy. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You're going to get it Tuesday night. If the latest Wednesday morning, but definitely Tuesday night. He's like, all right, man, I'm on board. By the way, I know it seems weird that a guy named Fearful Jesuit would text. Doesn't it seem like he would have a scroll delivered to me by some fucking like guy on horseback? He would have to run in because he's very medieval times, which I would understand because he wants me to do an audio drop for his podcast, the very successful Paranoid Strain. And I can tell you this about Fearful Jesuit. You know what he's doing? He's doing a podcast that he cares about and that people listen to. So he's not a guy climbing into a dark space, even when dealing with dark material. He says to himself, you know what? People want to hear this. I'm bringing messages to the masses. Of course, he hasn't been doing it for 10 fucking years, so he's still got that optimism. But I have optimism. I can't say that about myself. I love doing this. I wish I could do it every goddamn day. And that's one of the changes I wanted to talk to you guys about. But not that you care. Because here's the thing. You know, I put up stuff on Patreon a couple of weeks ago, too. We're going to talk about Patreon for a second or two. But I put up stuff on Patreon, like videos and stuff and audio stuff. And nobody cared. Well, that's a lie. Like 8 people cared, which is fine. But when I say nobody cared or 8 people cared, that's just the people who commented on the thing. But I don't know. I guess I thought it would lead people to subscribe, and then they didn't. And so again, that's the thing that gets into my head where I'm like, But also, I'm not working hard enough to get people to subscribe. I get this. Shannon tells me all the fucking time. She's like, yeah, it's weird because you're so self-aware about all this and yet you don't do anything about it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Isn't that strange? She and I had that conversation this week where I again, dude, if you're telling your therapist, if you're asking her, hey, look, if you wanted to cut me loose because you think you're not making any progress with me, I would totally understand it. Like when you tell your therapist that they can get rid of you rather than going ahead and stepping up and saying, hey, you should help me. But she does help me. That's the thing. I don't help my fucking self, but she helps me. And see what happens when I'm alone. If I had Lily, well, I mean, I might do this with Lily here too. I'm not going to lie to you. But see, that's the thing. When somebody's here to laugh, you can go ahead and try to make them laugh. You wind up spinning around and talking about different things all over the place. And you don't wind up spending so much fucking time inside, fucking 1141 Schmidt Avenue, right up there in the fucking corner of crazy and what the fuck. That's where I live. What the fuckers, what the fucksters, what the hell's going on? Who wants to buy some coffee? All right. So, that's my mark. That was actually, I think that's 7 years. No, that's 9 years ago today. I was on Mark's show. That's a lie. 2011, probably, right? I don't know, 8 years ago? I don't fucking know. And look at the paths we've taken. I was on his podcast. I went to the ranch house or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And we did a great show. It was fantastic. I loved his place. I sat in the chair Obama eventually sat in later. And then what happened? He got 9 television shows, and I'm here telling you nobody wants to fucking be in the room with me. So go back and listen to my What the Fuck with Mark Maron and see the foreshadowing. As I told him, I'm like, gee, I don't know what's going on here. And then 2 guys just moping around and talking to one another. And then 9 years later, well, one of the guys is still moping around and talking to himself, and the other one is on television 9 times a month. That seems weird. 9 times a month. He could be on 9 times a day if he wanted to. If you had Netflix, you can call up that Glow show or whatever the fuck and watch Mark be a fucking promoter. And you should. Because Mark's really fucking good at what he does, as I'm yawning and I'm fighting through it, but that's okay. That's what I do. I fucking plow downhill. I ski through like Jean-Claude Killy and Snow Job. That's a movie from when I was a kid, the first time we ever got cable. When I was a kid, we got cable, flipping around on channels, and Jean-Claude Killy and Snow Job is a movie I watched a million times. I think I talked about that on this fucking show, because I only have 8 memories that I bring to you after 10 fucking years. I talked to Max. He's like, man, you got to bring out some more stuff of your childhood. I go, I think that rag has been wrung out. I don't know how many drops are left. And he even said, he's like, well, dude, people love the Mr. Magic story. Fucking tell that again. And I'm like, nobody wants to hear me fucking. Then I'm just a doddering old fool if I'm retelling stories from the past. But I could probably sit down. Here's probably what he was really trying to get me to do, is to sit down and mine my childhood for some material rather than just hoping it came to me in a tsunami of bees. He was saying, hey, maybe if you planned this show, if you sat down and you really thought to yourself what you're going to talk about, maybe that would work. Because David and I come from different places. He comes from a place of discipline and work and getting things done properly. I come from a place of hiding until Thursday, or actually I apologize, hiding until Wednesday, and then doing a fake show at 4 a.m, and then coming in on Thursday and then doing this nonsense where I tell you exactly what the fuck happened to me and why I ran away yesterday. I didn't really run away. I was still here. I mean, I busted that fucking thing out at 4 a.m. I put it up, I posted it, and I went to bed. And then I got up today at noon to a couple of texts from people going, you okay? Are you all right, man? That's not, look, you do not go into entertainment to have people writing you the next day and go, are you okay? I mean, what's going on over there? Are you all right? Although maybe you do. Maybe that's exactly why you go into fucking entertainment. So someone will check on you every once in a fucking while. So you don't wind up some fucking old dead person in the middle of Japan. I just read a goddamn fucking horrible story about, they said people in Japan are just dying alone. Because I guess in the 60s, after we bombed the fuck out of them and they built these gigantic apartment complexes in Japan. And families, they looked at it as being upwardly mobile. Because I guess in Japan, a lot of people lived in shacks and they didn't have great things. And by great things, I mean dishwashers or fucking plumbing. Like, this is dead serious. So then when they modernized the country in the 60s, they would build these gigantic complexes and families would move in there. And then they'd have pools, and they were almost these like self-contained cities within just this apartment complex. You could actually take the train right from there to your job and come right back. You never had to leave the apartment complex unless you were going to fucking work. But the problem is, people lived there, and then they called, I guess, boy, I'm going to fucking betray this, but they would get like a dishwasher and a television and something else, a dishwasher, a television, and one other thing, and they called it the Holy Trinity. It was like that was their big 3 things. I don't think they called it the Holy Trinity. The 3 treasures. That's what they called it, the 3 treasures. Because initially, their 3 treasures were just like a fucking. I can't even remember. I'm blowing this fucking story I read it like 3 days ago. I should probably see. This is what Mex is talking about. If you sat down and took actual notes about the Japanese and their giant apartment complex, you wouldn't be fucking stiffing it like this and talking in goddamn circles. But the point is, all of those people who lived in those complexes, well, I mean, their kids then left, and then these old people are there, and now these old people are just fucking dying alone because the kids have either moved on, some of the kids have passed away. I mean, all these bad things have fucking happened, and these people can't save themselves. So there are these there's this story about this old dude, and he lives in his house, and they're all like hoarders. They said they will walk past buildings, and when the smell of death happens, they have to go door to door to smell it to see who's dead where, because they're all just dying there. They have this woman, oh my God, this poor woman, she's like 89, and her daughter died, her husband died, she's got nobody, but she's a genius. She gets up in the morning, again, it shames me, because she wakes up, she disciplinedly, she writes with discipline, she writes every day, she writes her day, she keeps a daily diary of everything that she does. Now, does she do anything worth note? Probably not. If she goes to the bus stop, she goes and buys fruit, she takes care of people, she says hi to people, that all goes in the book. It's literally, this woman invented podcasting, but with Japanese characters. Inside of her, I've been doing this 10 years, she's been doing it for fucking 40. And she lost her husband and she lost her daughter, but she like worked on a pact with a woman who lived across the way to look up at her shade. She's like, I'm always up and I open my shade at 6 a.m. So if she ever looks up here at like 7 a.m. and the shade's closed, she knows I'm dead. I'm like, oh man, that is fucking stark and real and harsh. But at the same time, good for her. She's on top of it. You know what I mean? Because the other dude in the story, and this is another thing that cracks me up. This fucking dude is like 85, maybe. And his only story is he went to Europe once and he worked on the Channel. Like the underneath I think that's what it was. He worked for a company. He provided like a spigot for some construction company. He did nothing important, but going there and being on site and getting a shirt that said Euro something and a keychain, those are his like top possessions. Because those are the only times he left the fucking country was he went there to work on that, and he still talks about it. And I'm like, am I that dude? Like, that's the thing. If I talk about Mr. Magic or I talk about stories that's why I'm always frightened to death where I'm like, I think I talked about this. Did I talk about this? I might have talked about this. Because I don't want to be that guy talking into fucking space, into the ether, constantly repeating himself in circles and watching it all twist down the fucking drain. I need to have more life to bring to you. I need to go out and experience things. But again, when you hide from your life and you hide from yourself and you just do that, then there's nothing to bring you. Then you got this fucking story where I'm telling you half a fucking story about Japanese people because I can't fucking remember the rest of it. But this dude, again, 85, he's got a t-shirt and a keychain. The t-shirt he kept on a hanger. I think they said he brought 12 back from Europe and then they're all gone. Now he's got one left. But they said his house smells like urine and tobacco and so it doesn't smell like death yet. Although if you asked me, urine and tobacco, that's death. I think I'd rather walk in on a fucking corpse. I'd rather walk in on a durian fruit wrapped in fucking baby shitty diapers than have to sit there and smell urine and tobacco because that just sounds grim. That just sounds, so I'm in my head when I read it, they're like, his place smells like urine and tobacco. I'm like, oh, so he lives on a city bus? Good for him. Although no, I guess you can't smoke tobacco anymore on the bus, but it doesn't matter because people smoke at the fucking bus stop. Dude, I'll be driving, you'll go by a bus stop, and I can't even imagine if I see somebody who's not smoking by the bus stop, as I've talked about before, I don't even like anybody taking the bus. I feel bad for them, and I want to stop and give them a fucking lift, as I did when I invented Uber year 2. But I fucking hear these goddamn people. I see them, or see them smoking, and I see someone standing around without a cigarette, and I want to just rescue them like Superman. I just want to fucking have super breath and blow all the fucking smoke away and make sure, because I mean, imagine going to work. Imagine sitting at your bus stop while 8,000 people just fucking smoke. It's like when you go into a building and there's all those people smoking in the cubbyhole outside because they can't smoke inside anymore, but now there's the rule where you can't smoke fucking 10 feet in front of a building, at least here. But I know in the Midwest and shit like that, you can smoke. Sometimes you can smoke. Like Jackie Cation just did a fucking show this week, and she's like, "Hey, you can actually smoke in the fucking club." I think she was in Oklahoma. I'm like, well, yeah, because those people are like, let's hurry up and die. I mean, we're in Oklahoma. Let's fucking get this. Let's get this show on the goddamn road. They're literally people who smoke in Oklahoma. They don't do it for the enjoyment, and they don't do it because they're hooked. They do it because they're sending up smoke signals that hopefully the Grim Reaper will see, so he will come down sooner and take them the fuck away. That's all it is. It's just them sending up a goddamn message to a guy with a scythe, to a skeleton, fucking come and take him away from goddamn Oklahoma. All right, where the fuck were we? We're talking in circles. Japanese people? Nah, fuck that. It's covered. People are dying over there. They're lonely. And that's the thing is I sit in my building and I'm not lonely per se. How could I be lonely? I got a fucking DVR with people making souffles. I got a goddamn phone where I could reach out at any moment to anybody. I got the internet. But that's the thing is I want to shut the fucking internet down. Like That's what I wound up doing. Sorry, here's the thing. Friday I went out and I lifted. I went and lifted weights over my buddy John at the gym. I was going to say over at his place, but it's over at the gym. And then our friend Lily Von Stupp and her clowny boyfriend Eddie, they were like, hey, can you come help us move? Now, I don't know if I ever talked about helping Lily move the last time I helped her move. And so that's the thing is I don't want to turn it into this, but the last time I helped her move, I said that I would never help her move again. I may have said that just to myself. I don't think I said it to her, but as long as she's not here right now, let's get it out in the open. Let's say it out loud. The last time I went to help her move, I showed up at her place. This was the oldest building in Hollywood. And I wasn't even going to the new place. I was just loading the truck. I walked, and I took the elevator upstairs because, again, she lived on the 3rd floor, I believe it was. We got up to the top. I walked all the way down to the end of the hallway. And when I walked in the door, stuff wasn't packed. Like, I thought I was going to show up and carry a bunch of fucking couches and a bunch of boxes and all that kind of shit, and it was going to be hard enough. But when I walked in and Lily was still packing, like there were books still in a bookcase and there were pots and pans on the countertop, and I mean, not dirty, but I mean, still, there was a cabinet of glasses. Like, I mean, I'm just like, what the fuck? Because it was like the 4th day they'd moved or something like that. They'd been moving. I had been told, I was led to believe that they were actually moving and getting things done. And then I show up, and I'm the only dude, by the way. The day I decided that I could help them, I showed up and like, yeah, like, cool, that's cool. Let's get this done. Because here's who I came from. I came from a family that moved a million fucking times. So when we did it, my mom, she had 5 movers. That's what she did. She basically, I'm of the opinion that my mom, there's always the thought that my mom was trying for a girl. She had 5 boys, but she kept fucking because she wanted to have a girl. No, I really think my mom was like, well, fuck, my husband is a fuck nut, and I'm probably gonna have to move eventually a bunch of times, so I need to have 5 boys who help me move a bunch of furniture. And so then whenever we moved, it was always my mom we'd be moving, we had to pack, and she'd just get all these fucking weed heads over to the house, and we'd have fucking fried chicken, and we'd just fill a fucking truck in like 2 hours because it was constant streaming activity. Zoom, 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 zoom. We were doing it. We were just getting it fucking packed up, loaded the truck, and got the fuck out. That's how my mom was. As a matter of fact, I think I've told this story before. We were moving from Romeoville when we were kids. We were moving to Bolingbrook, and we had a fucking truck. And like Ruben and all these fucking weed heads that my mom knew, they were standing around laughing at my mom's like, we knew better because we're just fucking, we're moving boxes. We're doing what we're told, but the guys were taking the point on all of the furniture. So they weren't letting us move it, but also they weren't doing it. So my mom so we took the cue from them. They're slacking off, we're slacking off, and all of us are just kind of slacking off. My mom's just like, what the fuck's going on? We got to get going here. And they were like, oh, Pat, relax, whatever. We got plenty of daylight. And my mom went into the house and picked up a fucking sectional. Okay, we had a couch, it was like 3 pieces. She picked up one of the pieces herself. My mom, 5'2", probably like 180 at the time, 170. My mom picked up the sectional, threw it on her fucking shoulders, and walked the fuck out with it. Stormed out, banged it into the fucking door. I mean, she was as loud as possible, too. That's where I get it from. I told you, I've done that shit before, where you try to be as loud as possible because you want to make sure everybody gets Jacob Marley'd. You want to shake your fucking chains and scare the shit out of every Scrooge in the fucking building. You want to grab that couch and throw it on your fucking shoulder and make sure they know you mean fucking business. And my mom meant business, man. So she throws this fucking section on her shoulder, storms out, walks past those dudes, like right through their fucking group of dudes who's out there yakking in front of my house like a couple of fucking screwball girls in a sewing club. And my mom just blazes through and throws the fucking sectional on the fucking truck. Bam! And the silence was deafening. We knew, because like I said, when we saw my mom go into that fucking mode, when we saw her go into fucking just like, my mom was a little, like I said, I've talked about before, my mom's like a little fucking R2-D2. She's built like a mailbox. She's just small and square. And when we saw her just put on the fucking death look and just say, like, we're just going to do this. This is happening. We knew. We fell in line. We did whatever the fuck we were supposed to do. We shut up. Nobody laughed. And these dudes, my favorite part, these are dudes, one of them had been in jail before. Probably all of them had been in jail before because, my mom, she fucking ran with that kind of crew. But it's Mark and Ruben and all these Dale and all these fucking guys. And Mike and my mom, they just saw my mom and they literally just like, all right, Pat, what do we do? And they came in the house. She's like, this goes. And that was it, man. After that point, it was an ant farm. We're just picking shit up and walking it down, picking shit up and walking it down. Nobody fucking bitched. And because they knew my mom had fucking laid down the law. She had fucking planted the flag. Time to get fucking to work and let's do this. Because she hated it. Boy, she hated just that. We all hated moving. Nobody wanted to do it. We did it so many fucking times, but we hated it. I did, at least. But when we did it, it was like a machine. So then, of course, when I moved and I was living with Karen and we were going to move, because again, file this under Mike Schmidt, Bad Husband, which was the worst sitcom that ever aired on CBS. It literally just, there, that's Schmitty. That was the alternate title. And when we moved, when my wife and I moved from fucking Naperville, we were going to move to California. We still had a month in between, or we were going to go we had to go live at her brother's house. So I had, Karen's just like, all right, well, we're going to get moving. And I said, okay, cool. And I asked my brother Scott and his girlfriend Catherine, and then Lenny. Well, no, actually, Scott and Catherine they weren't together at the time. I asked Catherine and Lenny, all these people were going to come over and help me move. And here's me and who I am as a person. I just assumed because I was going to be lifting a bunch of shit, I was going to lift bookcases and couches and boxes, whatever the fuck. I'd be the one going up and down the stairs and putting shit in the truck, that my then fiance, soon-to-be wife, could just go ahead and pack the house. She should pack all the dishes and pack all the clothes and get everything packed up. And we had a fucking, like a big apartment, 1 bedroom or whatever. But I was just like, all right, well, you do the packing and I'll do the lifting. Now, look, that's ignorant. I see now, fucking 20 years later, that was fucked up and you shouldn't do that. What you should do is, I don't know, be a good husband / fiance / boyfriend and go, hey, honey, what do you need me to do here? I can pack this and let's get this moved over here and we'll organize. But instead, I just didn't do anything because in my head I'm like, well, I'm going to be doing all the fucking lifting on the move day itself. So you just go ahead and pack everything, and that's the delineation of activities here, which is horseshit, man. That's fucking selfish and dumb, and you don't do that kind of thing. And I've learned these things again as I've moved on. But at the time, then, you know, my wife, she might have been, you know, also working a full-time fucking job at the time. She might have been slacking a little bit. And then when she would come home, she didn't pack. And I didn't really say anything because I didn't want to be, you know, we were all passive-aggressive and we didn't want to get in each other's faces. And we were codependent and weird. So I didn't want to go, hey, you going to, you know, pack this fucking house? Because it was shitty for me to say that. Who the fuck am I? Her boss? No. But I figured, you know what? She knew she was packing and I was the one carrying shit. So she'd get it done by the time the move was going to happen. And then the day came when we were going to fucking move. And there's still fucking towels in the linen closet. There's still clothes in the clothes closet. I mean, there's just all this bullshit that hasn't been packed, and I'm embarrassed. I'm crazy embarrassed because, you know, these friends of mine all come to help us move, and they come upstairs and they walk into a house where there's, you know, literally like towels on the fucking couch and clothes are being folded. And I mean, dude, when you tell people, hey, come over to help me move, you need to be locked and fucking loaded. You need to be prepared and ready to fucking go. You don't want to waste people's time. You don't want to say to them, hey, look, we might do this or it's going to take longer, because they are doing you a gigantic favor. Because I'll tell you what, if you had to hire fucking movers, first of all, that costs a lot of fucking money. Second of all, you got to have your shit together when they walk in, because you know what? If the movers come over and your house isn't packed, well, you're paying. They'll go down and sit in the fucking truck and drink a Sprite and laugh at your ass. Maybe a squirt. They haven't been paid yet. I don't want them to bump them up to a big brand. You guys can't go name brand soda on me yet. I haven't paid you, motherfuckers. But as long as you're off the clock and you're just collecting goddamn money, then you're going to go ahead and drink a squirt and laugh at me as I fucking pack fucking wash rags into a box. So I was pissed. I was so bummed. And look, and like I said, I understand now that was ignorant and wrong. I should have helped. If I would have helped, you know, because it wasn't like I was doing anything. I was working doing comedy and some fucking pizza shit, but I was home too. But when I was home, I was watching wrestling or jerking off or whatever the fuck I was doing, but I wasn't helping my goddamn fiance/girlfriend/soon-to-be wife. So it was an embarrassing day that we moved. And finally, it's that deal. And the same thing happened over at Lily's, where at the end, they're just picking up socks and throwing them in a box. Like literally, you know, initially you've got fucking boxes taped up and they say kitchen or bedroom or linen closet. Well, now you're just throwing in a fucking, you know, 4 china plates, a pair of sandals, 2 dictionaries. I mean, and it all goes in the same fucking shitty box. And in your mind, you're like, well, when we get to the house, we'll sort it all out. But the point is, you're just creating more work for you later down the fucking line. Be organized, folks. And this is why I will never move from this apartment. Well, I'm gonna die, and everybody else can come in and just raid it. I'm gonna do that. You know what? When I know I'm dying, when my cancer really kicks in, I'm gonna make 50 keys. And I'm just going to mail them to random people and go, hey, man, I'm going to be dead soon. If you hear I'm dead, come take everything and just loot the fuck out of me. Because who am I leaving shit to? I got nobody. I got no kids. I got no fucking significant others who want my stuff. Nobody wants any of that nonsense. And what could they possibly want? Hey, you want my Hulk statue with my Kuwait beads wrapped around it? Come get it. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to put that on my coffin. Like a goddamn hood ornament. I'm just going to put the Hulk on my coffin with the Kuwaiti beads hanging off of him. Because that'll get me into Kuwaiti heaven at least, right? It'll get me into Arab heaven, and the Hulk gets me into Jesus heaven. I've covered all my goddamn bases. When I die, throw a fucking Bible in there, throw a Quran in there, give me a fucking statue of Buddha, put all those dudes on my goddamn coffin. Because I need something. You know, I'm going to go, because I mean, who knows what happens when you die? You might wind up going to all the heavens and it could be like a giant nightclub scene. You know what? I think heaven is just like 6th Street in Austin. You walk down, you see what lets you in. You just see what the line is like outside. Hey, look, there's a giant line outside of Jesus heaven. Should we wait? Oh, man, there's nobody outside of Buddha heaven. Let's fucking go over there. And then if I got a fucking Buddha book in my hands, they just fucking let me in the goddamn door. It's perfect. It's foolproof. So when you bury me with all that goddamn literature and statues and shit like that. Put a crucifix around my neck, a Buddha in my hand. Give me a fucking, there's no Muhammad's, are there? There's no statues of him. Don't draw him, because then they'll be pissed. See, that's the thing. That's like a fake ID for when you go to Arab heaven. That's a fake ID if you go to, Valhalla? Where the fuck do they go? No, they go to, I don't even know where the fuck they go. There's the 72 virgins lurking. There are 72 oranges, whatever Ahmad said that they have there. Mecca? No, Mecca's a real joint. But if you show up there, then it's like, say it's like 6th Street and there's the Muslim heaven and you're like, hey man, I can get in here, and you show them a picture of Muhammad. They're like, haha, blasphemer. It's like a fake ID because they don't fucking draw Muhammad. So you're fucking out. So you got to go ahead and fucking wait in line at Jesus heaven and hope you get in the goddamn door there. So again, look, if I die, man, fill me up. Just fucking Bible and just give me a fucking, just write Ecclesiastes on my forehead, whatever the fuck, anything. Like the Joker says, damaged in Suicide Squad, tattoo Ecclesiastes across my fucking head. Or just give me, I don't care, whatever the fuck, fill me up, make sure I have. But like, I like that idea of the hood ornaments, like a Buddha statue with the fucking belly and a Hulk statue. I don't know why Hulk gets me into Jesus heaven. I think you would probably want to have a Jesus instead. But fuck that. Jesus got a sense of humor. He knows who the Hulk is. All right, so when I didn't fucking help move is my point, but and there's nothing worse than when you fucking go in there and then there's piles of shit that should have been packed up, and that's why when I die again, just come in here and fleece me. Just take everything. Take this shitty AT&T modem that nobody fucking wants. Take the 47 iPod plugs that I have. From all the Apple things I've bought, I've got those little white plugs that go into the goddamn wall. I have one that doesn't work. This is funny. I have like 6 of these and a black one too that you just plug into the wall and it's a USB deal. Well, I have one of these white ones that doesn't work because whenever and I always grab that one. There's a pile of them. I got 5 of them, but I'll always grab the one that doesn't work and it doesn't charge my Fitbit or it doesn't charge my fucking computer or whatever the fuck. And I just stare and I'm like, oh god damn it. So then you know what I do with that one? Here's what I do. I put it right back into the pile with all the rest. Because I'm a genius. I grab that one that doesn't work and I still throw it in the pile with 5 things that look like it. So then later, you know why? Because I like mystery, folks. I like to bitch, apparently. I like to make sure that I'm playing a fucking game show with the rest of my life. I want to make sure it's always like, hey, guess which plug? And then I'm always going to pick one. And it's always going to be the wrong one, motherfucker. But yet I throw it back into the pile. You know what I want to do? I want to get one of those fucking like lotto ball machines. Not the ones with the fancy air cannons. No, I want the one that you roll up like a bingo ball collar. And I'm going to pull all the plugs in there and oh, look at this plug. Does it work? Bang, it works. Oh, this one does not work. Back into the fucking bingo ball. Blah, 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 blah. E17. E for electricity. Electricity. E for eels. E for elevated ideas. All right, so the point is, when I die, come steal everything. Just take everything out of my goddamn house. And I don't know why I'm limiting it to 50 keys. That seems, you know what? I should go fucking straight up. Well, hold on. 50 keys is a lot. Because I was going to say I should go fucking mad world and just have like, the big W. Everybody go to the big W and just send everybody on this fucking wild goose chase to come to my place. But everybody knows where the fuck I live. And 50 keys, that's a lot of people to have 50 people just pouring through my goddamn house. That's a lot of people who want to get books. You know what? Because again, get here early. If you get early, you could get a laptop. But if you get here late, you could get a book about the Big Red Machine. Nobody wants that, do they? I don't think they do. Get here early, you could get my television set. Get here late, and you could get one of the 47 self-help books that sit on my fucking side table that I haven't cracked open just yet. Hey, you want a copy of the 4 Agreements? It's dog-eared. It's ready. It's got that. You want a copy of Hold Me Tight about this therapy book that I bought that is a fucking miracle, and it's probably got a lot of fucking pink pen shit in there? You should go ahead and grab that thing and try to learn how to live your life like a guy who died alone. All right, so fuck. The point is, I had to help Lily move on Friday. Look at this. You know what? I said to myself, I got nothing to say. Here we are. Where are we at? We're like, holy fuck. We're like 42 minutes into the goddamn show. And I still haven't said anything, but I'm still talking. And like I said, one of the main reasons I wanted to do the show is because I wanted to have that fucking that new Christmas open. Oh, how great was that, right? That's when David and I were talking this week, and I'm like, hey, I don't know when I'm doing the show. He's like, well, because he's super busy this week. He's got a Christmas party to deal with and all that stuff. So he's like, dude, I don't have a lot of time to do the art. And then that window closed. But then he wrote me. He's like, hey man, I got new songs. Like if you want those, the Christmas stuff. And I'm like, send it, dude, absolutely. And so then I went, well, fuck, I got to do a show because again, it's December, man. You guys know that every December we've got show stuff, new stuff, Christmassy stuff that I like to run by you guys. And I love having you on board for it. And I love having David doing that stuff for me. So that's why December is so important to this show. We try to change it up. We go a little different. We try to show you a little bit of Christmas joy. Even though there is no joy in Mudville or Christmasville because Mighty Casey struck out and also didn't think he was any good at baseball anymore. That's what happened. Mighty Casey hit 4 home runs last fucking Wednesday. And then Mighty Casey spent 4 days going, you're not good at this. Don't play baseball anymore. And then he struck out. That's what happened. Fucking Mighty Casey. That's what happens in Mudville, you fuck. Why am I mad at Mighty Casey? Because that's, you know why? Because Mighty Casey's the stand-in for me, and that's what I say to me. I'm like, whatever, you fuck. That's what I do. I talk to myself. I'm not kind to myself. I'm not good to myself. And you know what? As I've said, Journey has told us, be good to yourself when nobody else will. Whoa, be good to yourself. That's what Journey says. That's Steve Perry. He knows what the fuck he's talking about, man. You'd think I'd listen to him, but I do not. Instead, I tell myself how terrible I am at things. I'm bad. You know what? That's when Cobain shows up. Some days I'm all Steve Perry. I'm all light and I'm hitting the high notes and everything's good. And then I do a show and it's fucking fantastic. And then the next day, Kurt Cobain shows up. He's like, hey, man, you ought to marry Courtney Love and then shoot yourself in the fucking head. And I say to him, you know what I say to him at that point? I go, you know what? If you flipped those, you'd probably feel better about yourself. I'm going to tell you that right now. If somehow you could finagle blowing your head off with a shotgun before the marriage to Courtney Love, I got to assume you got a better time ahead of you. And I know some people would say cause and effect by marrying the Courtney Love. That's why the shotgun was necessitated, why using that was supposed to be involved. Although I just read some fucking bullshit conspiracy thing online. And look, I know there's fucking 14 documentaries about the guy now. And people think she did it and people think other people did it. And then he was silenced. Dude, I'll tell you what, I just read, here's another reason everything failed me this week, because like I said, I want to leave Twitter and Facebook forever. I can't, because the internet has given me a career, but at the same time, it's also taken my life. And I don't mean in a weird, I'm the slave to it because I got to work. No, I love doing this fucking show and I love talking to you guys. That's pretty fucking cool. And the Attaboy Schmitty Fit Brigade, all that shit, that's fucking great. What I mean, however, is that I fall into these wormholes of these sad motherfuckers and everybody yelling and politics and garbage and everybody going, yeah, well, you did this. No, you did that, man. And I mean, it's nightmarish. I can't, and I try to pull myself out of it. I go, I can't do this. But then I wind up reading it. Dude, I read an article in Vanity Fair. It was a fucking guy, he's an entertainment lawyer, and he's anonymous, all right, but he's got a fucking blog online, and his blog is about blind items, about all these celebrities do this and they do that and all this nonsense. Now, I've found myself starting to lose joy in the things that I used to take joy in. Case in point, football. I used to love the NFL. I used to love watching the Bears. I was excited for the games. I was always excited to watch them and get on board. I bought the Sunday ticket every year. And the last couple of years, because the Bears suck so bad, I haven't even really considered buying it. I haven't thought about it. Also, the past few years, I've been traveling a lot, so I wasn't home on Sundays to watch the games. So I think, fuck it. I don't need to go ahead and invest in that. But I still invested emotionally in the Bears, where I wanted them to win. As you know, the past few years, I'd be dating Jill, and we'd go to games and stuff, and she was a Packer fan. And that was actually fun, because we had rivalries and all that kind of stuff. But it was also no fun to lose all the fucking time. And it was still fun, and I was happy for her because her team was winning and whatever the fuck. But at the same time, it sucked. I mean, I was the team I wanted to win lost. And I found myself kind of pulling myself away from it because I'm like, look, I got enough disappointment. All right, I don't work hard enough as it is, and I'm already disappointed in a lot of things in my life. Why the fuck am I letting a football team affect me in any way? And I used to be able to find, I'd go to the hockey team then, and I'd find some, some sports love there, and also baseball. The Phillies were good for a while, but now the Phillies are awful, and the Sox, the Bears are awful, and the Hawks now, all their guys are kind of over the hill, and they're starting to lose, and the Bulls are terrible. It's that thing where sports doesn't hold the same joy for me that it used to. So I kind of find that stuff kind of depressing. I'm like, and also I'm 50, man, because I see myself going, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you what, at least I follow pro sports, and I understand you root for laundry and whatever the fuck. I don't understand anybody who roots for college sports. That just makes no fucking sense to me. I do like the playoff, when it's the top 4 teams and they square off. That's a really fun day. That's 2 games in one day. It's like a doubleheader. It's like when they have the NFC and the AFC championship games. That's the best day in the NFL season, because there's 2 huge games you got to look forward to. Actually, the best weekend is when there's the 4 playoff games, but the best day is when there's the 2 championship games. And the Super Bowl's an afterthought, and that's fun. It's just a party. You don't care. Nobody cares about my opinion on this nonsense. Maybe you do. Maybe you do care about it. You know what? Fuck that. I'm going to run that back. I'm going to peel that back and tell you do care. You've been waiting all day for me to give you this opinion. But college football, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares who Rutgers played? Jesus, fuck. I don't care if you went to Rutgers. I don't care if you're Mr. Rutt. I don't care if you're John Gers. Who the fuck cares about Rutgers football? Syracuse. I mean, when your fucking team is 6-5 and going to the hemorrhoid asshole bowl, who the fuck cares about that? Why would you follow that and take any pride in it or be happy at all? And then, because I see, again, I've been, because I'm reading shit, coaches are flipping and going to different teams, and they're all getting $35 million and $50 million. And I don't give a fuck. I don't begrudge anybody. Get paid. But the players don't get paid in college. And then I go online and I'm like, this doesn't seem fair. The NCAA is a cartel, and all of these coaches are getting all this money, and the kids are getting really nothing except, I guess, an education, ostensibly, but not really, because those kids are there to go and play football and try to make the pros. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Same thing with basketball, and there's racketeering. These coaches are getting sent up on racketeering charges because they're buying players. And there's this dude, I'm sure you know who LeVar Ball is, and he's got his sons. One of them plays for the Lakers, but then he's got 2 other kids who aren't as good as his son on the Lakers. One of them was a freshman at UCLA, and he got arrested for fucking shoplifting, and then supposedly supposedly Donald Trump got involved and then he wasn't grateful enough. And it just literally that story, you're just like, I'm exhausted by that story. I don't fucking care. But yet I read it and I'm like, why am I reading this? I don't like LeVar Ball. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Ball. I don't like LeVar Trump. I don't like Trump LeBall. I don't like any of these motherfuckers. I don't like LaMelo or LaMelo or LeVar or Lonzo or Lemongello. Any of these guys. I don't like Mark Lemongello from the Astros in the fucking 80s. I don't like any of these dudes. But yet I still read it. And I read it just to kill time because I should be doing something else. I should be writing jokes or creating a sitcom or moving forward and doing something that would make me get out of this apartment and have a better life. But I just don't. I wind up sitting and consuming. I just eat a trail of fucking shit in the form of sports and news and garbage online because that's what I do. I make myself a prisoner to it. And I don't know how many people out there are doing the same thing. And with this Attaboy page, I'm like, I'll get out. I'll walk outside because I'll tell you what, I literally came home Friday night. I'll talk about helping her move in just a second. I got home Friday night and I was like, I'm going to drive tonight. I'm going to do this. And you know what I did, man? My body was fucked because from the whole week I had done a bunch of shit. And I had helped her move for like 6 hours. And then we went out and ate. And then I got home. And I went, you know what, man? I'm going to take a shower and sit under a blanket because my body was kind of fucked. Like I said, I had zombie toe and all that kind of bullshit. So I was like, you know what? Just have a rest. Well, that was fucking Friday night. It's now Thursday night as I record this. I wish I could say that I was doing it Thursday afternoon or any of that bullshit. No, this is Thursday night. And I've left my house to see Shannon on Monday, and I've left my house to grab something to eat and then come home. That's it. I didn't go do any cardio. I didn't lift. I shirked my duties. I crawled into a cocoon. I did it again. And I don't even know why. I don't know what knocked my dick in the dirt and made me do it. I do. I have an idea about a few things. But it made me avoid life again. And I will tell you this, here's the worst part. Like I would go check the mail. Like you can even see, because I've now signed up with people on Fitbit, so they can see that I'll do like 80 steps and it's to go check my mail. And I felt good doing that. Like in my head, I'm like, I smelled, because there's fires all over here. I don't know if you're aware of this. My entire fucking state is an apocalyptic hellscape that's burning the fuck down. I mean, and thank you to all the people who've written me to say, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm like 10 miles away, 8 miles away from like the really bad fires. And it would have to be a real act of God to get them here. And I mean, I wouldn't put it past them or him or whatever the fuck, but it would have to be a real freak occurrence for the fire to get to me because, like I said, I'm about 8 to 10 miles away from it, but that's 8 to 10 miles of heavily populated area. Like I live in a suburb. I don't live out in the middle of the woods with me and 4 coyotes and a possum. I mean, I live with apartment buildings and houses and I mean, there's a Wiener Schnitzel up the fucking street. So that would have to burn to the fucking ground before it came to me. Like there's no back road to my house. It would have to go through it would have to cut a fiery swath through a city populated with a bunch of people. Now look, it just did that up north. Like 2 months ago, it fucking burned entire cities to the goddamn ground. So it can fucking happen out here and it can happen like that. I just snapped 1, 2, and then 2, or 1, 1, and 2. But right now, no, I'm okay. I'm away from said fires, and I'm not there. It's not going to be a bad thing. So thank you for checking on me, and I appreciate it. But everything is burning down. But it smells when you go outside. It smells amazing because it smells like Christmas. It just smells like fireplace. Well, unfortunately, that fireplace is a neighborhood that's been burned to the ground and fucking 80,000 acres of wooded land that was putting real air and real fucking oxygen into the air and providing home for coyotes and fucking birds and whoever the fuck. But all that shit's burning down. So now my house there's smoke at my house. There's ash at my house. My fucking swimming pool was filled with ash the other day. I took photos of it. I put it online because I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, because it was 78 degrees. It was gorgeous. It was nice. There was a nice breeze. It was beautiful. But there was ash, thick ash, like not only in the pool, I should have taken photos, like it piled up outside my house. It piled up on my windshield. You get outside and you run your windshield just to get the ash off your fucking window, which is fucking weird. And it's a weird thing to live through, but it happens. And it's happened to me before out here. I've walked outside when the ash was falling like snow because there were fires in fucking Burbank. That was like 8 years ago. That was gorgeous. I understand it's not gorgeous for anybody who's had their house burned down. I get that. I'm not trying to say it's beautiful, but there is a certain beauty to these wildfires. When you look at them, you realize the destruction that they're doing, but you know what? There is beauty in destruction. That's got to be the name of the show, right? Doesn't it? Let's go ahead and write this down. 5232. How you doing? 5232. All right. So the point is everything's on fire out here. So people are checking on me and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But now I'm lost. I've lost my train of thought. Where the fuck was I? What was I talking about? Help. Oh, so I came home Friday and I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I'd go get food once a day or whatever, come back to my house and hide. And then I would go, I saw Shannon on Monday. But here's the thing. When I walked outside, I loved it. I loved the sunshine. I loved the smell. I loved the breeze. I loved being outside. When I drove, I actually put all of the windows down in my car because then I could feel a breeze going through my hair and through my face. And it meant I was alive. You know, I used to get like this, over the past couple of years. I've had situations where I wound up sad or upset or disappointed or whatever. And I've thrown earbuds in and I'd listen to music and I would walk outside and music saved me. Being able to listen to music and walk outside in the sun and have the breeze on me, it saves me. The problem is I always forget to do it. I always put it aside. Like when I talked about on Rock Bottom Night, I talked about going out after the gym and standing outside and putting my hands in it, fucking crucifix level and getting a breeze in the sun. It really feels good. It energizes me. And I was doing really well last week. And then all of a sudden I just kind of reverted back. So it's a battle, man. It's happening. It's all in progress. You know, you guys are great and you're all keeping it up on the Attaboy Schmitty Fit Brigade page and that's fucking cool. But I had a bit of a week, man. I retreated. I ran away. I ran so far away. Yay. But now I'm back for the attack. That's what I'm doing. I'm here right now with the attack. All right, so I go to help them move on fucking Friday. I thought wasn't there a different thing I was talking about? And now I'm lost. I was talking about Japan. See, this is what fucking happens. Because I wind up talking, then I run up, I get myself off the fucking rails. The point is, I went to help them move on Friday, and I showed up. They wanted me to help unpack. Because look, all right, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. She had asked me to help her move on Tuesday. I think it was, or Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday. And I avoided her text because I'm a child. But the last time I did it, I did not have a good time helping her move because I showed up and it just brought up way too many fucked up memories of the last time. And then, of course, the time I did it with myself and my wife. And I was like, yeah. So I did write her back late in the day and I said, hey, look, I go, what's going on over there? Are you guys done? And I go, do you need help over the next couple of days? She's like, how about now? And I'm like, oh my God. Cause it was like 8:00 at night. I think, or it might've been 5:00. This didn't happen. No, it did. And I was like, oh man. Cause I was actually heading to the gym. This was, I think this was Thursday and I was heading to the gym and I said, hey, look, all right, fine. I have to go do cardio at the gym, but I will write you after I leave and we'll see if you still need me. And she said, okay, great. So when I left there, because they had Home Depot dudes. They had like fucking shadowy ghost Mexicans, the dudes that you hire off the fucking street. And those dudes helped her. So this was 2 days. The first day, on Wednesday, I couldn't do because I had my physical and all that stuff. And she said that they had 8 people to help her load the truck and move it over and all this stuff. I was like, well, that's fucking gold. I mean, you guys got to be completely done. So I couldn't go on Thursday. I wrote her and she said, no, come on over. So then Friday, I said, look, I have to go to the gym in the morning with John, but then I'll come over afterwards. See how good I was? I was diligent. I went and did cardio on Thursday and I went and did the gym on Friday. Now, was I doing it to avoid moving? Maybe. I don't know. You can go ahead and make your own speculation there. But the point was, I went ahead and I jumped in and I showed up Friday afterwards. She asked me to go pick up some flyers for her in Burbank and then come to her place. I went to her new house and I pull up and there's a truck outside and the truck is about 2/3 full. It's a 26-foot truck. Now, I'm not there to load, which makes me happy. I'm there to unload, which I'd much rather do because then you can just start pulling shit off and putting stuff down in rooms and floors. You don't have to fucking worry about it. But at least it was all packed. At least it was all on the goddamn truck. However, when I got there, it was me and Lily and Eddie. And that was it. I thought there were Home Depot dudes again, but it turned out they had shot their wad with those guys the day before. And then they had the 8 people with pizza, the party 2 days before to load the truck. And I think they loaded it and unloaded one truck. She told me they had to do 3 different loads with this 26-foot truck. And I was there for the last one. So I was like, all right, well, let's fucking do it. And we did it. It was me and her and Eddie, and she can't lift anything. So it was me and Eddie. And thankfully, he had a hand truck and he had another cart that you could put stuff on so you kind of roll stuff around. But we still had to carry some couches, some tables, some chairs, a bunch of boxes and books. And then you got them in the house and you had to make sure you put them in the right room. And I will tell you this, Lily has done so well because she moved from the oldest building in Hollywood to another house. And I've talked about it before where she lived in Mexico, right near the Tamale House and all that kind of stuff. And she found out, just like a month ago that she needed to get out of there. And it wasn't anything that they did. It was just that the guy who owned the joint was like, hey, man, like he had a family member who needed to move in to a place. And so he's like, I've got to give her this house. So you guys got to go. Sorry, because their lease was up and they were going to renew it. And the guy's like, I can't. So they actually spent 5 weeks looking for a place. And it finally came down to the wire. They got a place 4 days before they were supposed to move out. And then, of course, they got to whip everything into shape. They got to get the trucks. They got to get this. They got to get packed, all this stuff. And I of course, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's well, you knew you were moving anyway, so you got to pack everything probably in boxes. I don't know if they did or they didn't. But you know me, I have quite a lot of ideas about what you should be doing with your life and not doing any of those things for my own life. That's how I work. But I was happy because, again, like I said, it was probably 2/3 of a truck to unload. And it was just me and Eddie. And we just started taking stuff down, stuff went in the garage. And so for a house that they found within, because they'd been looking for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and they finally found a house like with 4 days before they were supposed to move out. Dudes, this house is fucking amazing. Like it made me kind of go, I would live in this fucking house. If they would have asked me if they needed somebody else to chip in on the rent, because it's going to be Eddie and Lily and then her friend Rob, and then they got this new guy Chris. So they've got 4 people living in it's a 3-bedroom house. There's just like a sun porch. There's a fucking grill out back. There's a spot for a hot tub. I mean, it's fucking amazing. Her shower, like I wanted to take a photo of her fucking shower. She's going to put it up. She called it an Elsa She-Wolf of the SS shower because it does. You know what it looks like? It looks like the kind of shower that you would tie somebody up in. Like, just they'd be strapped because there's a big, also, there's another cool thing. It's a recessed shower. So you have to step down into it. And there is a floor to ceiling window for the shower. So, I mean, look, Lily's pretty freaky. I mean, I'm pretty goddamn freaky. Because I even looked at her, I go, man, you're going to fuck in this shower like every day, aren't you? And she's just like, hi, yeah, that's the plan. Because it is literally a floor to ceiling window that the sun comes in. And I was like, you just got to fucking, literally introduce yourself to the neighbors by doing a straight up fucking Cool Hand Luke, put them on the glass, crazy Sir Mix-a-Lot soap extravaganza just the first week. Especially her with her fucking the cannons that she's bringing to the goddamn table. I go, just get out there and just put them on the glass for everybody to see. And then have Eddie behind you. That'd be better. Like, you can just, I shouldn't even speculate. I'm like, you should do this. And she's like, yeah, that's kind of weird that you're even saying that. I'm like, I don't care. That's how I do things. But we finished. We finally get everything packed. And then she's like, you want to go eat? I said, sure. We want to go into the Olive Garden. The Olive Garden. All right, I don't remember that. I'm lost. I swear to God, there was something I was fucking going to tell you guys. So we went to the Olive Garden, and I haven't been to the Olive Garden in fucking forever, and I'm trying to eat like a normal guy, and the food comes, and we had our waiter was named Samar, and he comes over, and I don't know how it works there. It's like a never-ending this and fucking endless that. And I can't eat never-ending and endless anymore. I don't give a fuck if it's a story or I can't. It's not my thing. But if you order your entree, you just get it. And you got to choose between fucking salad and soup. There's like never-ending salad and endless soup or whatever the fuck they call it. So this is funny. Lily, who'd been hot all day because she's out in the fucking weather and she's negotiating, she's packing, she's unpacking while we're unloading. And the guy comes over and Samar is our waiter and he pitches her. He's like, hey, anybody want to try some sangria? And me and Eddie are like, no, because we're straight. And then Lily's like, no, I'll totally try some. And she sipped it. She's like, oh my God, that tastes like the craziest like Kool-Aid ever. Yes, I want a glass. So she gets a big ass glass of boozy Kool-Aid and she gets fucking wiped out. She takes like 5 sips. She's like, I'm drunk. I'm like, fantastic. I mean, good for you. That's the way to be. If you'd spend a week fucking packing and moving and shit like that, tie one on. Who fucking cares? But then we were looking at the food and what we're going to order. And I'm like, I'm trying to, look, I haven't been there in a long time, so I'm trying to triangulate orders. Because the way I look at it is if like you get endless soup and I get never-ending salad, we can switch it up. So then maybe they bring a bowl of salad and then you can have some salad and I can have some soup. That's the way it works. So I'm trying to make a strategy here. So because Lily's like, well, I just want, Lily got a steak, which is that's drunk Lily. She's like, yeah, I'm going to have a steak at the Olive Garden. And the guy said, how do you want to cook? And she said, medium well. And in my head, I'm just like, I didn't say it to her, but I wanted to go, don't ever use the word well when you're ordering a steak, especially at a shitty like chain restaurant. If you're doing it at a steakhouse, they'll be pissed. and they will absolutely bury your fucking steak in charcoal briquettes. But at a chain restaurant, they don't know any better. If you say medium, they're probably going to make it well. Don't throw well in there because that just gives them fucking license to really ruin the shit. You might as well just say, hey, Samar, take your fucking shoe off and put it on a plate for me if you order a medium well steak at an Olive Garden. But she did. She ordered that, and that was fine, and everybody was happy. I don't know if everybody was happy, the chef, whoever the fuck. But then Samar, he gets Eddie's order. Eddie ordered some lasagna, and then he looks at me. He's like, what do you want? I go, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go on a tour of Italy here, Samar. And he's like, fine. And Eddie had gotten, like, he was going to get, he wasn't sure if he was getting soup or salad yet. So I said to Samar, I go, all right, so how's this work? He goes, well, you get soup or salad with your entree. I go, great. But if he gets soup, and I get salad, I go, that's for the whole table, right? He goes, well, not really. He goes, if you get salad and you can have salad, and if he gets soup, he can have soup. I mean, it's not like that sort of it's not that situation where you're trading. But look, we all know that if he brings a soup, they're not going to have a broth police come out and tackle me if I'm eating a bowl of fucking soup that was his, right? Nobody's going to fucking do that. You're not going to have a goddamn chowder cop come over to the table and be like, hey, Pally, and spin his fucking nightstick and hit me in the fucking skull. It doesn't matter. And you know what, honestly, if you're going to beat my ass over some vagabond soup, or some contraband soup, why did I say vagabond instead of contraband? If you're going to beat my ass over contraband soup, that's an ass beating I got to take. I'm ready to go to the ground over this kale and sausage broth. You want to bring it on, chowder cop? Let's do this. So I speculate in front of Samara. I go, well, look, if I get the salad, Lily, what do you get? And she goes, well, I want the salad. I go, okay, well, and Eddie's like, I'm not sure. And I go, all right, well, look, if she's getting the salad, I can get the soup and you can get like the soup too. And then we can get two different soups and trade them around. Like look, I've been on game shows. All right. I'm trying to figure it the fuck out. I'm breaking down the soup and salad conundrum. I'm going ahead and peeling the fucking soup and salad onion. I'm trying to get it all squared away so we can all get a spoonful and a forkful of never ending and endless. And Eddie's just like, well, I don't know. Yeah, that's cool. He goes, I might get soup then. And I go, cool, get soup. And I said, I'll get salad. And Lily, this is the thing that drives me crazy. All right, here's the thing. Lily just goes, no, that's not how it works. And I go, no, it is how it works. I mean, because if you get soup and I get salad, it's fine. I can have some salad. You can have some soup. We'll trade around. And she goes, no, it's because you got to get the salad. That means you get the salad. They only bring you a salad plate. And I wanted to go, yeah, but I don't have AIDS. You can eat off my fucking salad plate. Don't tell me that I can't share your soup because, I mean, it's not like you're going to fucking sneeze in the soup. We're not licking spoons here. Fuck. But she jumps in to kind of, I've done this before with people, and they jump in when I talk to a waiter, when I'm actually kind of talking in front of the person. They think that I'm putting the waiter out, but I'm really not. I mean, I'm not being mean or rude. We're talking. I mean, I'm just saying, well, I go, I'm trying to figure out how this works. Samar, what do you think is best? And he's like, well, it's my first day. They just promoted me from busboy. And I'm like, well, then Samar's no help in the soup and salad controversy. But then Lily keeps going, no, that's not how it works. Just get salad. It's fine. And I'm like, well, you're getting salad. So if you get salad, I can have some salad, and then I get soup. And she goes, well, no, it's not table salad. It's my salad. I go, yeah, but I've been here before. All the breadsticks and all the salad come in the same giant thing. We can eat all of it. All of us can have some. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm just telling you right now, just get salad, okay? And I go, all right, fine. I go, fine, I'll have salad. And then Eddie's like, yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm going to have, I'll probably have soup. Like, what kind of soups do you have? And I'm like, he gets the soup. So Samar leaves, and I don't say anything because Lily's got a couple of pops in her at this point, but it's like, dude, don't fucking, you're on my side. Be on Team Schmidt. Be on Team Soup Schmidt. Because I wasn't looking for anything special. All I'm trying to see if we get salads and he gets soup, do we all get a bowl, or is it the thing where we got to go clandestine? I don't know. I haven't been to the Olive Garden fucking forever. You know why? Because I have taste. If I want Italian food, I'm going to go to an Italian joint. I'm not going to, granted your tour of Italy, I don't usually tour Italy in a bus. But sure enough, Samar comes out and he brings all the breadsticks and stuff, which is nice. He brings her the sangria and he gets that. And then he brings over the giant bowl of salad. And Lily's like, oh yeah. And, can you bring me a side of olives, please? Because there was a bunch of olives and pepperoncinis in the salad. I don't eat olives or pepperoncinis. And I go, well, that's fine. I'll pick around them. That's fine. So the dude comes and he brings 3 salad plates, one for me, one for Eddie, and one for Lily. And then Samar comes back with a bowl of soup for Eddie. And Eddie goes, oh, well, you brought me a salad plate. He goes, well, yeah, but you ordered soup. He goes, yeah, but if I ordered soup, why'd you bring me a salad plate? He goes, well, I'm hooking you up. And I look, I know it's unreasonable. I know it's weird and wrong. I know I'm a 50-year-old grandfather who wants you to get off of my lawn, even though I don't own a fucking lawn. But after having the discussion in front of him about whether we could all share soup and salad, for him to then, because he was very explicit. He was like, no, you get a salad plate. That means you can have salad. And Lily's like, see, you just got to get a salad plate. We can't share. And they, after they teamed up on me to shout me down and shame me in the great soup discussion, he brings Eddie a bowl of soup and a salad plate and says, I'm hooking you up. Now look, you want to hook a guy up? That's fine. But if you want to tell a guy you're hooking him up after I had already asked you whether we could all have soup and salad, now look, I'm going to throw this out to you guys because we're all friends. We're all new here. That's a fuck you to me, right? I mean, that's like, hey, fuck you and your strategies for soup and salad. I'm going to give this guy soup and salad right in front of you. Because he could have hooked us all up. He could have hooked me up. He could have brought me a bowl of soup. He could have done all of that shit. Because again, it's his first fucking day. But on your first day, the balls to not only go against the rules and hook a guy up, tell me what the rules are, that I can't have soup and salad, but then give the guy sitting directly across from me soup and salad, and then to tell him in front of me, hey man, I hooked you up. That is, I'm sorry to say, that is a fuck you to me. I believe. I will go to my grave believing it, and when I'm in that grave, do me a favor, throw in a bowl of soup and Samar's address so I can fucking haunt him by smacking a spoon into an empty kale and sausage broth bowl for the rest of his motherfucking life. And he walks away, and I literally, I will not lie, I got mad. Like, I did get mad. I actually sat straight up and kind of looked at him, and he didn't look at me, and he walked away. And I looked down, and Lily goes, oh, he hooked him up. And I go, yeah, he did. And she goes, you're mad about that, aren't you? And I go, fuck yeah, I'm mad about that. And she starts laughing. And I go, dude, that's not funny. I go, he just said fuck you to me. That's what he did. Because we were talking about it. And I mean, I wasn't mean or rude about it. I was joking when I was like, well, what if, we can triangulate where you get the salad and the soup. I don't want it if we share. I go, are we all in this together? Are we a team? I mean, I was having fun. We were having fun. But for you to come up to, and look, maybe he wasn't having fun because he's busy or whatever the fuck. Fine. All right. I get it. Yes, I know. Everyone's going to write me and go, you don't understand what waiters go through. Fine. Okay. But that was clearly a fuck you to me. I felt it was. I don't care. And I will go to my grave thinking that. And then he just kept coming over, and then he made a huge look. And I'm sure on his podcast right now, he's telling the story about how he fucked with this guy. I'm sure he is, because he literally brought Eddie every soup. Like, he brought him the kale soup, and then he brought him like a white bean Tuscan. Like, he brought him a different bowl of soup, like 3 different bowls of soup. And Eddie didn't even finish the soups. He would take them and bring in more soup. And then he would bring him a clean salad plate, but he wouldn't bring me a clean salad. I mean, I was just like smart. And I never even talked to the fucking, I wouldn't even look at him. I wouldn't even look at him the rest of the fucking meal. I was, goddamn, I let Lily, and then finally, like in the middle of our meal, he went home, which was the weirdest fucking thing ever. They go, yeah, Samari, he's off. So this one woman, Melissa, came to take his place, and she brought her entrees out. And guess what happened? I got a tour of Italy, Eddie got lasagna, and Lily got what I can only describe as what looked like the head of a shaved puppy. It was the darkest, toughest piece of meat. It just looked like, it looked like a horse had been eating charcoal and he just shit out a pile of it. That's what it looked like, because it was black and brown and fucking disgusting looking. And she looked right at it, and she knew. And I just went, oh, I said, you know what? I kind of thought that was going to happen. And she goes, oh my God, this is awful. Like, she went to cut it, and she literally had to hold it down with the fork and saw through it. Like, you can actually hear it like fucking steak shrapnel shooting off it. You ever cut anything with a bandsaw and it goes and fucking snow and fucking weird wood shavings go everywhere? Steak shavings flew in the air. I caught one in the eye. I had a beef splinter. It was fucking brutal. But she let it happen. I mean, she when you say medium well, you are giving them. I told her, I go, look, if you're in a restaurant and you say, well, it's not Ruth's Chris. First of all, Ruth's Chris, they will hate you, all right, and they will fuck your steak up. But they still have a modicum of decency. Here, they don't give a fuck. That literally, when you say medium well, it gives them the opportunity to just take the steak and put it on the fire and never look at it again. You'll eat fucking 3 bowls of salad. You'll eat never-ending fucking soup, a ton of breadsticks, and your steak, rest assured, is on the fire the entire fucking time. And it just, she looked at it and she's like, oh my Christ. And then we're eating, and then the woman comes over. I said, hey, look, you got to check out this steak. And she gave it a fucking side eye. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, that looks terrible. And Lily's like, yeah. She goes, well, you want us to replace it? And Lily's like, no, it's okay. And Lily, because again, by that point, Lily's had 4 plates of salad and 4 breadsticks and a bottle of sangria and whatever the fuck. And she's got fettuccine Alfredo on the plate too. So She takes the steak away, but leaves Lily her fucking Alfredo. And then Eddie is eating his lasagna and he goes, "Ooh." Now Eddie just had 2 fucking root canals. One of his fucking crowns pops off. And this is a dude he's just eating soup and soft noodles and that fucking crown popped off. I'm like, oh my God, I don't ever want to let anybody get into my mouth to fix anything. Because there's shit I need fixed in my mouth. Like if you see my smile, I gotta get that one really small baby tooth. It's just, I got the Rhode Island of teeth, like right up in the fucking upper left. And it's just tiny and small and it doesn't belong there. But and the other teeth are just, I think that tooth is a racist, literally, because the other teeth are all growing in the other direction. Like, we want nothing to do with this tiny racist tooth who's lurking on the top row. So I'd love to get a veneer or a cap or something in there to fucking fix it. But I don't. And I'd love just to go get cleanings. I mean, it's funny. I had dental insurance all year. Never used it. Never fucking used it. Paid $28 a month and whatever the fuck. And I could have gone and gotten cleanings and everything. And I wanted to do it. But the thing was, because I'm a child, I tried to pick the dentist I want, and it wouldn't let me pick the dentist I want, so I had to pick a different dentist, and because of that, I didn't want to go see that dentist. So I didn't. I still paid for it all fucking year because I'm an idiot, but I didn't go see the goddamn dentist I wanted to go see, so I just put the whole dental thing on the goddamn shelf. So now, I'm going to try to renew my dental stuff for the coming year. My fucking health insurance, you don't even want to know. Like, it went up $100, I think it was $130 a month already. So now I got to go back in and find a different plan. I got to keep my doctor, but I got to change my fucking plan because I can't afford. I mean, $130 a month. That's fucking brutal. Especially because I just bought an iPhone X, and that's where all that money went. All that increase for my fucking health insurance went right into my goddamn big screen phone. Now I'll tell you this: I got the iPhone X. That face thing is a miracle. I don't know if I told you guys this last week where you fucking make the Face ID and you stare at it and it opens up your goddamn phone. Dudes, it's so fun to play with just to freak people out. Because, I mean, not even. It doesn't freak anybody out. Everybody knows it's fucking there. But when you do it, it's magic. It's just fucking magic. Because you look at it and it opens your phone. And then you hand them the phone, they look at it, it doesn't open. It just makes that makes that little fucking noise. And in having the iPhone X, I had an iPhone 5 for the past whatever the fuck years. And now my iPhone 5 is here. I'm keeping it to be like an iPod, so I'm trying to put music on it. I pick it up. Dudes, it is the tiniest, smallest fucking, it's so ridiculous. It's like going from a tablespoon to not even a teaspoon to going just like a plastic fucking spoon. One of those taster spoons they give you at Ben & Jerry's. It's that fucking size difference. Because now I hold the fucking iPhone X and I look and I read and I see all the shit in there, and that's fucking amazing. And then you hold that little 5S and I feel like I need a jeweler's loop to read any fucking thing on there. It's fucking crazy. But the point is, I talked myself out of doing this show. I went home after the Olive Garden and I laid there and I laid under a blanket and I told myself, what are you going to do? You're going to fucking rest. And then Saturday, you know what? You're going to rest. And then Sunday, you're going to rest. And then Monday, hey, you got to get up and go see John and lift. All right, so I did that. And then go see Shannon at noon. And then I'm up and about. I'm feeling good about myself. And then I come home from Shannon and I sit down and I did nothing the rest of the day Monday. And then Tuesday. And then I just could not... I couldn't bring myself to the microphone. Because I had talked, because again, I'll be truthful with you. Again, I did a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 40 minute comedy show last week. And I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I just fucking did that. And also put up all that stuff on Patreon. But I'm like, I put up the Podfest show and all this stuff. And I didn't get what I thought I would get. I didn't get the response I would get. And look, I'm not telling you guys, you got to carry me on your shoulders every fucking time. But there's that little kid inside me who's like, oh man, I thought this would be great. I thought people would love a 2 hour and 40 minute show. And some people did. Some people wrote me. And I'm supposed to find solace in that. I'm supposed to go, yes. But again, like I said, doing this alone and shouting into a microphone by myself is different than when I was making Lily laugh or when I was making Eric laugh, even if he laughed into his fucking sleeve or Justin or anybody. And you know that. It's become a prevailing theme for year 10. Where I've decided I'm going to go record at somebody's, like I said, hey man, I'll come to your house and record. Let's do that. Let's do this. And I want to go on the road and I want to do stuff and let's do that. It's all on the agenda. I really want to do it. Part of me, again, if I had fucking money, I want to just hop in a car and just drive. I want to go to San Francisco and record. I mean, I had an offer from a guy up there. He's like, come record at my house. I would love it. Anybody in LA, I would just go. I would get on the fucking road and do it. So I wanted to ask you guys about it. Nah, not really. I don't want to ask you. I mean, whatever happens, happens. Like, because part of me wants to just fucking, this is going to sound so stupid. All right. But I just want to shake up the format. Because normally, again, like I said, it's here and it's me talking about what the fuck I did last week. But what if I didn't do anything last week? What if I just fucking hid in my house and I didn't have anything? Would it bother you if I watched a movie and talked about that for a half an hour? Would it bother you if I did? Because I mean, I got people telling me that that's a good thing. I mean, and like I said, Max is like, dude, do more bits. You got to put more bits in. You got to do that. And I understand that logic, except that the show itself has not been like that before. And to stop down and then try to pick up the momentum from fucking talking. But he's like, well, no, you can go to make the edits. It's just, yes, ostensibly I could do that. I could go ahead and sit and stop talking and then do a beat and then record. But then at the end, then I got to mix together 15 fucking tracks of bits and me talking. Because again, this show, I have not stopped. This has been a non-stop talking show. Last week, that was a fucking feat. I did not fucking finish talking. The whole open of the show is clean. And then I put in the song and then the plugs. Literally last week's show, I think, is a 4-track show. No, a 6-track show, because it's got the open and the close. It's got the first chunk, and then it's got the plugs, and there's a thing in the middle. I mean, it was just a clean show that had momentum and ran the fuck downhill. But the point is, I kind of, part of me in the 10th year, part of me is like, I want to do different stuff. Like I want to, and this is going to sound so stupid that I'm asking your permission or that I'm telling you this, because all of you are just like, yes, but you don't understand what's in my head. Gio kept saying to me, he's like, dude, you just fucking, people are on Team Schmidt. They want to hear what you did. They want to hear you. If you went to dinner, if you want to talk about this, or you went to a movie, just make it, the phrase he used was fresh and sexy, which I thought was weird because this show is going to be neither of those ever. But he's like, just do that, man. Just don't fucking get in. And like I said, David's like, do bits and commit to this and make it, bring it to life. Cause it's not like like I said, I'm not down on it. I'm down on me. I'm not down on the format. I'm just down on the fact that I don't think I bring enough to the format anymore. Because the first 4 years, yeah, man, I fucking punched a car, or I worked in security building and I don't push the Dracula button and I hit an old lady with a newspaper. I mean, that kind of shit's happened. Even last week, I dropped a fucking urine sample all over the goddamn place, and I made a bathroom smell like an old Japanese man's apartment. I mean, fuck. So I had that, and I'm like, all right, so I got that to bring to the table. But sometimes, man, shit don't happen. Because my life is so goddamn small, because then in my head, I'm just like, then it really drives home the fact that I'm not out living and I'm not out doing stand-up, I'm not out traveling. Because the other shows, like Bird is his solo show, but he gets to tell you a story where he went on a helicopter and then he was on the field in Austin, Texas after playing a stadium. I'm like, fuck, I can't compete with that. But still, even though he does that, he spends 20 minutes reading viewer emails. It's like, Jesus Christ, you've got an interesting life, man. How the fuck is your interesting life getting on a fucking show that's half or a third as long as mine, and then you fill it with 20 minutes of emails? Because that's death to me, man. I don't want to do that. I don't want to gimmick it up. I don't want there to be tricks. But also at the same time, I don't want to come in here and go, hey, and here's the soup I ate this week, and then tell you about the fucking soup. I don't fucking know. I don't know what I'm doing. All I know is it's 10 years, and I'm doing this, and I keep telling myself I'm bad at it, which is fucking ridiculous, because I've been doing it for 10 fucking years, and every time I put it out there, you're still out there listening. So either, like I said, you're just masochists waiting for me to fucking die, or you're waiting for one of you to get that 50-key lottery paid off, and you're going to come to my house and steal the Hulk. Well, stick around, folks. Watch those mailboxes. Those keys are on their way. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. You can get me at Instagram and Snapchat and Instagram. I'm at Mike40YOB. That's Mike40YOB. Send me your Snapchats like our friend Stephen Mudd did this week from fucking Sweden or wherever he is. He's been sending me like emoji dudes in front of show art and stuff like that. It's fucking amazing. Our friend Ashley in New Mexico. Our friend Lisa in Pennsylvania. Our friend Amanda in Canada. She's in Amanada. That's where she is. She's Amanda in Amanada. All of you fine people who contact me via Snapchat, and I'm sure I'm forgetting names down. People are going to be mad at me. Kiki, you contact me. Everybody else. People who send me notes and photos and all of that. So thank you for checking in with me and saying hi. It makes me very happy. That's on Snapchat, on Instagram. People, Instagram, nobody really checks. Well, yeah, some people do, like Elise. And then when I put up a thing, people like it and they comment on it. Like I put up the picture of the Ashfield swimming pool this week and people are like, gross. Oh, I'm going to puke. I'm like, hey, I'm glad I put this up. But I'll tell you what, my pool is fucking clean now. I don't know what the fuck happened, what battalion of dudes they got in there, or what kind of ash vacuum they went and picked up. By the way, if you do not name your band Ash Vacuum, holy fuck, how great is that name? That was fucking fantastic. Dude, please welcome Ash Vacuum. That sounds like a goofy band in the movie Singles. They opened for Citizen Dick. It was Ash Vacuum. Find me on Instagram and Snapchat at Mike40YOB. Get me at Facebook. Get me at Twitter. Give me your opinions. Give me your ideas. Let me know what the fuck you think, man. And be prepared for me to ignore it. Come out here. I'll take you to Olive Garden. We'll get together. We'll fight with a waiter about fucking endless soup. And then I'll endlessly kvetch about not getting the fucking soup. I love the word kvetch. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Anyway, find me on all those social media joints and contact me, man. Those joints. Yeah, it's a Spike Lee joint. It's a Mike Schmidt joint. Find me on my Snapchat joint and my Instagram joint. You know what? Find me on my Snapchat joint and perhaps I'll Snapchat you my joint. Who knows? God knows it could be out there. That's not happening. I think about that now. I'll tell you what, because it's so funny because, everybody now is fucked. I mean, everybody's sexually abusing people and there's all these terrible things and Louis C.K. and comics and all this stuff. And I remember joking around about cock photos. And when I talked about Photo 31, I had people who actually contacted me and wanted the photo, which I've talked about on here before. I've actually named some names. And people offered to trade photos with me. People said they wanted the photo. They had to see it just aesthetically to see if it was as good as I said. Whatever the fuck. People were being silly. I'm sure 99% of them were being silly. I'm betting 1% of them would not have minded if I sent it. But at the same time, imagine now. In this fucking atmosphere now, man, if I was like, hey, find me on Snapchat, and who knows what the fuck will happen? Well, no, nothing horrible will happen because then I will have to really close up shop on this motherfucker because I'm gross. Like I said, man, I don't understand ever the fucking confidence that any of these dudes, Weinstein and fucking Louis C.K. and I mean, all these dudes who just went, yeah, I'm going to jerk off in front of this chick and she's going to watch, or I'm going to have my robe open and I'm going to go and chase you. Just today there's a fucking senator who just resigned in Arizona. Which one was it? It's not Flake. Who's the other fucking guy? I don't know. He's resigning. And it turns out, get this fucking horseshit. This dude, apparently he asked 2 women who worked for him if they wanted to carry his surrogate child. Now, and the way he phrases it is just like, yeah, I didn't know that would be a big deal. I thought that it was a sweet thing to ask. Well, what are you you asked them if you could rent their pussies. That's what you did. These women work for you. They don't work in any capacity. They're not pussy renters, all right? I think one of them was an assistant at the office. One of them may have been an office manager. I got news for you. Pussy renter is not on their resume. And it speaks more to how these motherfuckers see women, that all he sees her as is a baby factory. This is an accomplished woman who gets a job in his office. And even if she's not an accomplished woman, I don't give a fuck if she's a fuck up. If she's me, if it's a female version of me who's just going to step on their dick and surf the net all goddamn day, you still don't go, hey, can I use your pussy for a fucking year? That's just terrible. I mean, and I'm sure there's people who support him. They're like, well, he didn't want to fuck him. He just wanted to do it with the natural way. Because that's another thing in his fucking statement. He's like, yeah, we would do it with all respect and Jesus and bullshit. Like, no, dude, don't make it sound like you're going to fucking fill a crucifix with your sperm and inject it with her holy wise. I mean, it doesn't happen that fucking way. Either way, you're still putting your seed inside this chick. I don't give a fuck if you read Bible verses or you got Jimmy Swaggart on the fucking television. You're still saying, hey, can I come in you, whether it's with my cock or a fucking crucifix? I still want to fill you up with my seed and have you carry the baby because I don't see you as any sort of anything other than a fucking pussy at this point. God damn it. Who has that mentality? Who are these fucking old white men that need to die? Old men, period. John Conyers, too, in Detroit, fucking grabbing interns' knees and going, hey, I know about Chandra Levy, and man, what the fuck? Good Lord. I mean, I got news for you. I got a laptop and headphones and a bottle of lube, and I can jerk off and go to bed, and I'm fine. I don't need to fucking flash it. I don't need to show it to anybody. I don't need to do it. I mean, do I prefer burying my face between a woman's thighs for fucking hours? Of course I do. Do I prefer absolutely hearing somebody breathe in my goddamn ear and say my name? Yes, I do. But I got news for you. If I'm flashing my cock and hanging around in a fucking bathrobe with a chick who doesn't want to see me, she's not going to be happy and whisper my name in my ear when I fucking get her off. The only reason she's going to get off is because she's going to fake it so I'll get out of her fucking room. Jesus, I just don't understand the arrogance of these motherfuckers because they're all disgusting. That's the worst part. Franken is I thought he was a hope. I thought he was a legislator who could get things done. And like I said, he's denying some of these charges, but he hasn't denied all of them. So even one of them is out of fucking line. Lose your job, man. Lose your fucking job. Because it was your job. That's the thing. You exploited people. You used your position of power to fucking compartmentalize and put these poor people on a fucking shelf. Jesus Christ. God damn, I'm glad I don't have a clitoris. All right, or a clitoris. Whatever you want to say. So find me on Snapchat. For more of that kind of brilliance. If you want to hear me say more of that stuff, go ahead and fucking find me. If you want me to tell you about why an Arizona fucking senator shouldn't look at every woman like they're a walking baby factory, you fuck. Good Lord. Find me at Snapchat and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course my email, and contact me there because I'm awesome. Our friend Ryan Dirks does all of the web stuff for this show. Contact him, please. He's the best. He's at facebook.com/Ryan Dirks, and he can do any and all things for you that are needed with, I forget what, do I have Drupal? I don't even know what the fuck. He's the only guy I could find who can handle my like Druid. I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. Drusable? I don't fucking know. Whatever operating system I'm running in the background, he's fucking on it, and he's the guy who can take care of it, even from his farm. So find him at facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. He's the man. Superfan Geo, as I've mentioned, he was talking to me, he was texting me and gave me a pep talk and made me climb out of my fucking horrible apartment cave and bring this to you. He was nice enough to go ahead and throw me a landline and extend a hand. Thank you, Geo. I appreciate it. A hand that has been bitten and crushed by his dogs, Mac and Mac. I don't know the other one's name. Kong? No, that's not right. Regardless, you can find him at facebook.com/Giovanni Giorgio Peluso. He is Superfan Geo. Not superfan of me. Again, not superfan of me, but superfan of others, certainly. That's facebook.com/Giovanni Giorgio Peluso. He did all of our YouTube stuff. He's the coolest. And I thank him greatly for all of his participation and his kind words. Find him at facebook.com/Giovanni Giorgio Peluso, or look for his shows in iTunes. He's got a couple of them out there. He's got the all the Loveline stuff that he's done, the Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla stuff, because he's in tight with those guys, and he's restoring all of the old Loveline shows. But he also has his own show called Pod Gods, where he throws out his countdown of the best podcasts of the week. And for some ridiculous reason, I wind up on there a lot more than I should. But I think he's only doing it to pop up my self-esteem. Pop up, prop up. I was going to say pep up, and then I was going to say prop up, and I changed it to pop up. So instead I go to prop up. He's propping up my self-esteem, like the offspring. So thank you, Gio. Find him, please, and listen to his shows. Our friend David Hernandez. David Mex Hernandez does all of the cool-ass artwork, and not this week, unfortunately, because I caught him late. That was my own fault. But he does all the artwork usually, and all of the, whatchamacallit. He does all of the music as well. The fucking Christmas thing you just heard and the thing you're about to goddamn hear, which is fucking great. He is the coolest. He is the best. He is one of our best friends, and he is a guy who's taking care of all sorts of business for us. Please find him at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Contact him there and have him do the coolest things in the world for you. I don't know if he'll do that on Facebook, but why not? But if you really want to get a hold of him and have him do some cool-ass stuff, because here's the thing. I tell you, normally I would tell you he does all the artwork for the show, but again, like I said, he didn't do artwork this week. But whatever I've got in the window there, I'm sure he painted, unless I'm going to draw something myself freehand, which I might, because again, very talented, ladies and gentlemen. Or I might just leave the logo up. Who the fuck knows? But regardless of all of that, our friend David Hernandez, he's available at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. He's the guy who does all of these cool-ass things. He's got Valscapes. He's got Gycons. He will do customized artwork for you for the holidays. If anybody out there is thinking to themselves, man, I need a painting of my wife and I, or a painting of me and my wife. That would be better grammatically. If you want a painting of your dog, you want to fucking anything that you can think of, he can go ahead and make it happen for you. And it's a busy time for him. I'll tell you what, he's fucking swamped because, like I said, he hosts parties. He's doing stuff for me, but then even more importantly, he's doing stuff for artbydmh.com. So if you want to get your stuff by the holidays, if you want to get it in time for Christmas, now is the time to contact him and go ahead and work out payment and get an order in there. You can find him at artbydmh.com. You can go ahead and find the website, look at all the stuff he's done, see if you want to purchase a pre-done piece, or if you want him to do something custom for you, he's happy to do it. Go ahead and contact our friend David Hernandez at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com.
Come behold him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, the 40-year-old boy, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. The finest gifts we sell, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Come, Joe Biz told me, pa-rum-pa-pum, can it be a place to give to see or hear live bees? You gotta hear this dude, gangster, talk about rape and food without being your on the front of it. For 3 hours, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, sometimes 4. Every child must be put upon to use Mike's link to shop at Amazon. Donate cash to his Patreon. Support his rage phenomenon. I pray you want to hear his rage. So go to Mike's cool YouTube page. We'll try to help him clean of glory. We'll see the day when men of goodwill finally drive Uber. Joe Business, can it be? Can it be? Oh, that's a pretty thing.
Again, second week in a row I get to say this. I want to remind you folks about a burlesque show that our great friend Lily Von Stupp is producing at the 3 clubs on Vine in Santa Monica. That's right, just like old times, except she's not here to correct me on all of this stuff. It is the Class Acts Burlesque Show, Burlesque School graduates and alumni Tuesday. That's Tuesday, 12/12/17, December 12th. I think that, let me take a look at my watch right now. I think that's this coming Tuesday, folks. Tuesday, 12/12/17. Tickets are available now at mnts.com. That's mnts.com. Buy a ticket for Class Acts Burlesque. It's all these people graduating from burlesque school. Not rock school, not girl school, at the girls' school, where my baby broke all the rules. Not rock school, which is, I think, a Britney Fox song. Or is girl school a Britney Fox song? Girl school's a band, and then I think also a Britney Fox song, but then there's a song called Rock School. I want to rock school, right? I don't know. One of the fucking James boys will tell me which one it is, I'm sure. Ron and Don, are they out there? Are they going to contact me right now? I'm going to listen right. Hold on. I'm going to hang up and wait for your answer. Anyway, the Class Acts Burlesque Show, Burlesque School graduates and alumni Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, 12/12/17. Tickets are available at mnts.com. And as I said to you before, if you come to this thing, let me know you're going to be there. I'll show up this coming Tuesday. I'll hang out with you guys, and we can have tacos outside. We can watch people get naked inside, nipples and labias and everything else flying in our faces while we're eating tacos. We'll get a look at some tacos while we're having some tacos. Hi, I'm sexist. But all of that is available to us this Tuesday, 12/12/17 at the 3 clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Class Acts, Jesus Christ. Class Acts Burlesque. Tickets available now at mnts.com. Go to mnts.com and grab some tickets, if only to come to the show and say hi to Lily. It's been a while. Congratulate on our new place, because it is a great place. It's awesome. Sponsors. We've got sponsors for this show. Let's talk first of all about our friend Rob Matsushita. He's got his show going over there at the Dreamwell Theater in Iowa City. It's the production of Civil, a social satire written by Robert Matsushita. Again, very, very fancy, Robert Matsushita. It's set in an unspecified future where trials are held in a virtual environment. Only 40 minutes long for those trials. 5 actors play multiple roles. The audience votes. It's going to be amazing. You can pick out the outcomes of all the trials. And performances are December 8th and 9th. That's this weekend, folks. That's the last 2 performances right now this weekend, the 8th and the 9th. And at the closing December 9th performance, audiences can go and have a talk back with the author, the director, and the cast. That's right, our good friend Robert Matsushita will be there in the basement of the Dreamwell Theater in Iowa City, taking your calls, taking your questions. That's at Public Space 1. That's 120 North Dubuque Street in the basement of the Wesley Center. So it's not the basement of the Dreamwell Theater. The Dreamwell Theater is in the basement of the Wesley Center. Tickets? You want a ticket? Of course you do. Tickets can be ordered at dreamwell.com. That's Dreamwell, DREAMWELL.com. All shows are at 7:30 p.m. That's the 8th and the 9th, which I believe is that today, Friday? Yes, today, Friday. And then tomorrow, Saturday. Tickets available now at dreamwell.com. The Dreamwell Theater is putting on our good friend Rob's show. It is Civil. And if you want to go tonight, that's fantastic. Have a good time on a Friday. But if you want to go tomorrow, first if you want to go to all of them, go ahead. But if you go tomorrow, please remember, our friend Rob Matsushita will be there taking questions. The author, the director, the cast, all of them there tomorrow at the closing performance in the basement of the Wesley Center, 120 North Dubuque Street. That's at Public Space 1. Go to dreamwell.com. All the information is there, as along with the link to purchase tickets. Go ahead and have a good time. Our friend Rob, and tell him I sent you. Tell him the 40-year-old boy told you to buy a ticket. or you heard about it I'm not the 40-year-old boy, but you heard it on the 40-year-old boy to buy a fucking ticket. Jesus, I'm not my show. I'm not me. I'm me. I am not a number. I am a free man. Who are you? The new number 2. Who was number 1? Folks, GetTheButters.com is a great sponsor of this show. They're our friends, Jerome. Our friends, because Jerome has multiple personalities. Jerome is out there. Send it in, Jerome. Send it into my ass with a balm, a butter, a mask. All of that stuff is available. A lube. Go to GetTheButters.com. Use the code 40YOB and make yourself known. Tell them, hey, you know what? I bought this because Mike said so. Well, I guess using the code, again, like I said, that'll let them know. But go to GetTheButters.com. Hold on to yawn, fuck. GetTheButters.com. Get any holiday stuff you want. I'm sure he's got all sorts of minty facial scrubs and minty nonsense balls and butters and balms and lubes and masks and suds and slick lotions and beard oils. All available at GetTheButters.com. Use the code 40YOB. It is available for you to use right now. So please go ahead and grab that. That would be fantastic. Use the code 40YOB. Save some money and buy some stuff from Jerome for Christmas for you and your significant other, or just for your mailman. I'm sure your mailman wants something he can put in his ass. Go ahead and grab that over there at GetTheButters.com from our friend Send It In, Jerome. Who wants to be a Lyft driver? It's you, isn't it? Of course it is. Or if you want to be a Lyft passenger for the first time, you can use this code. It's all caps, Mike 720057. That's MIKE 720057. Use that to become a Lyft driver. Use that to get your first ever Lyft ride. I get credit. I get dough. I get money. I get do-re-mi, which I need, thank you. And if you want to be an Uber driver, folks, you want to scour the countryside, picking up strangers this holiday season and putting their packages in your trunk and making small talk about hot chocolate, small talk about big things, use this code at Uber. It's all lowercase, DJZW1YTTUE. That's DJZW1YTTUE. Use that code, become an Uber driver, become an Uber passenger. I can't imagine that you don't have Uber on your phone now, but if you do, grab it, use it. And use that code, and you'll save some money, and you'll get me some money as well. That's fantastic. But more importantly, you can become a driver. And like I said, take people to and fro, and you earn money, and I earn money, and everybody's happy. I get to be the Uber pimp that I've always wanted to be. So go ahead and grab that and make it happen. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. That website exists. And if you go over there to the Joe Business page, we've got all sorts of cool stuff. We've got stuff for sale. We've got shirts. We've got CDs. We've got download sets still available. We've got live downloads. We've got the music from the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast, which is, of course, the Word Pimp Schmitty and the Misanthropic Gangster. That's available now for the donation to the show. Mex's Heroes album is available as well. Please go ahead and pick that. And look, this music resonates. I'll tell you that because I just got a tweet from a listener, our friend named Seth. I don't want to say his last name just in case. But he was like, you're a 40-Year-Old Boy fan. Hold on, I got to pull it up because I don't want to ruin it and say the wrong thing. Hold tight. Let's find it. Because this is the upshot of doing the show really late. So I get in under the wire with as much stuff as I possibly can. Our friend Seth wrote, and he said, hold on, let me pull it up. Seth said, you're a 40-Year-Old Boy fan when you hear Elvis Costello's Allison and want to sing the words, "Get off my lawn," instead of the real verse. Because our great friend David Hernandez, of course, did that version there. So so that's when you're a 40-Year-Old Boy fan, when David's music resonates in your head, whether it's the Christmas stuff you're hearing now or the opening theme, the closing theme, all of these things. And the Heroes album, he did some stuff that hasn't been featured on the show. Actually, some of it has, I think. But Word Pimp Schmitty and the Misanthropic Gangster, that's all stuff that's definitely been on the show, including I'm a Native American, which you heard for Thanksgiving, which people seem to love. So please go to the Joe Business page. And if you want any of that stuff, go ahead and buy it on there. But while you're there, this is key. Use our Amazon link. It's the holidays. I'm sure you're using Amazon for a ton of stuff. Why, I just got a cookbook and a self-help book myself today. But I can't use my own code because it's against the laws of God and Amazon. And by the way, it shouldn't be in that order. It should now be the laws of Amazon and God, because I think Amazon, Jeff Bezos, has more money than the man in the sky. So why not make him the first in the pecking order? And he's my boss, as far as I'm concerned, if I have an Amazon link, and he's helped me out. And you guys have helped me out by using it, but use it again, please. Go to the Joe Business page. There's a big Amazon link. You can't miss it right there. It says Amazon. Click on that. Clicks through to Amazon, and while you're in there shopping, we get... And now I guess, here's the thing. I'm going to have to direct the Amazon link to a certain product. I guess. So now you'll get in and it looks like I'm saying, hey, go ahead and buy this vibrator or whatever the fuck I wind up pointing it at. But that's because Amazon wants us to specifically send you to certain products. Now, if you just click through to Amazon, you see that product, you don't have to buy it, but stay in there and shop. I still get credit for the stuff that you buy. But for some reason, they don't want us to just send you to the front page of Amazon because that's too easy, I suppose, where it's like, hey, go buy Amazon stuff. They want us to be specific, as I guess, from what I've been told, we're tastemakers. So I'm supposed to introduce you to specific products. But however, I was doing that with my 40-year-old boy store, which they fucking closed. So I'm not going to argue with Bezos. Again, more money than fucking Christ. So right now, though, use the Amazon link. It's going to take you there. And if it's to a certain product, just ignore that unless you want that product. And then shop around, and we still get credit by you using the link, and we appreciate it very much. We get money, they get money, you get stuff. It works out perfectly, especially this holiday season. It costs you nothing extra. All you do is you click through our fucking link and you go ahead and shop around. It's just a way to get in. Use our door. That's it. I'm just asking you to use our front door and go ahead and it's a side door, actually. There's a huge Amazon store. You're sneaking in the back via the 40-year-old boy link, and we get money, they get money, you get stuff. It works out perfectly for us and for them. And I guess that's that. Oh, but I want to talk about this. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. We got a Patreon page. Our Patreon exists. Thank you to all of the people who have signed up and become people, like just this particular week. Hold on, let me pull up somebody who actually signed up. We had a new person join in. First of all, we lost somebody this week, too. I won't say who it is because then that just seems like I'm pointing fingers. But thank you for staying as long as you did, person, who was but we did get a new person who signed up. That's our good friend. Where is it? Hold on. Our friend Ruben. I've actually eaten with Ruben here in L.A. at Matzah. Ruben and I went to dinner with a friend of his who probably said, who the fuck was that guy? And probably asks him every time, hey, remember we went to dinner with that idiot? But Ruben Jesse Cohen, I'll say his full name, why the fuck not? He is signed up and become a member on Patreon. Thank you, Ruben, for becoming a Patreon patron. If you want to become a Patreon person, go to patreon.com and look for Mike40YOB or look for the 40-year-old boy Patreon. Google it at all. You're going to find it. I don't have a link for it yet on the website because I was going to change the website and I haven't gotten around to it. Because again, I think I just told you, I've been hiding under the fucking coats and blankets for a goddamn 4-day stretch. You would think while I was here, I would do those things. I'd be going ahead and taking care of business. I'm still working through some things, but eventually I'll have a Patreon link at the Joe Business page, so I won't make this two separate fucking plugs. But here's something I wanted to talk about. If you're a patron, thank you. I appreciate it. We've got like 80 people doing it now, I think, or 79 or 80 or 90. I don't even know. But you guys are great. And you can see how much we get a month. We get $770 a month from you guys. It's fucking amazing. Thank you so much for thinking of us. I would like that number to go up because then it's less time that I have to drive around the country and bringing people to and from their destinations. But that's fine. Thank you. Whatever you can give is fantastic. $1 is fucking cool. Anything, whatever you guys can do would be fantastic to become patrons. But I will tell you this. Yesterday, Patreon announced a new fee schedule where they're passing on the fees from me to you for some reason, and they're charging extras. Like if you donate $1, I guess it turns into $1.37 and you have to pay. I'm not well versed on all of the numbers, okay? All I know is some people are getting short shrifted a little bit, and Patreon is profiting from this. And it's not going to really hurt me, but it's going to hurt you a little bit or a lot. I don't know. I think what they're trying to do is incentivize big donors. So they want, people who give like $50 and $80 and all that so they can get a thing off the top. But, the lifeblood of this thing is people who give $1 or $2 or $3. These are people who are, invested and they give what they can. And I appreciate it very much, but they're getting dinged with fees, man. And like I said, our friend Amanda, who's in Canada, she gives to like fucking, I get 8 different shows. And so she's getting really boned. And then she's in Canada, as I've mentioned. So she has to pay like an exchange rate too. So here's my thing that I'm going to say to you guys. I appreciate every dime you give me on Patreon. Thank you so much for signing up. I hope new people will sign up. I hope the people who sign up now will increase their donations. I mean, obviously I'm in this to try to get as much as I can because it helps me out very much. It's a salary for doing this show and what I do. Now, did I earn it this week? You can fucking decide that I'm putting the show up a fucking day late. Although I gave you a show yesterday with like 6 minutes of new stuff. What the fuck? Who cares? The bottom line is, it's a really cool way for you to sponsor the show and for me to make some money from it. It's great. But if these new fees, if you feel strongly that these are unfair, I think if you can go to Amanda's Facebook page, or you can even Google it, I'm sure. There's a a petition going around, like an online petition where you can sign to tell Patreon, hey man, you're kind of boning me here with these fucking fees. And if you want to just stop your donation, I totally understand that too. I mean, because I'm appreciative of you thinking of me and giving me any amount that you possibly can. It's really nice of you that you would go ahead and consider what I do worthy of giving anything. But if it turns out where it's going to cost you money, or in the long run it actually makes you think twice and you don't think it's a good faith enterprise anymore, I totally get it, and fucking move on. That's totally fine with me. I got no problem with that. I will lose the money. I won't be happy about it, but I'm not disappointed in you guys. I don't understand why Patreon did this. It seems like a weird shell game where they kind of pass things on to you, and I'm not supposed to get, like, they give me, let's put it this way. I got the email and I was like, you get to collect this particular amount percentage of your thing. And I read it. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. What does that mean? Well, what it means is they're fucking charging you guys more. And it's up to you. You know what I mean? If that's cool with you and you don't mind it and you want to go ahead and share with me still and support the show with cash rather than just your ears, that's totally great. And I appreciate it very much. And I hope more people will come on board and do that. But if you also want to get out, tell me, right? And write me, and do me a favor though, I'll say this. Write me and go, hey Mike, this fee thing is why I'm leaving Patreon. I'm not leaving because you put up a show on a Friday instead of a Thursday. So just so I know that it's not me, because I've had people that had to monkey with their Patreon stuff before and they wrote me to apologize. And I told them, oh man, why are you writing to apologize? But in reality, it's because I always wonder if I did something wrong when I lose somebody. I was even telling Gio, I'm like, fuck, dude, I lost people. I didn't get new people. I put up all this new Patreon stuff and the videos and then the fucking full-length Success Is Not an Option show. And he's like, dude, I lose 12, 15 people a month. And I'm like, dude, I would go out of my fucking skull if I lost 12 to 15 people a month. I don't want to lose listeners. I don't want to lose patrons. I don't want to lose any of those That's why and that just really crushes my soul when I don't put a show out on time, because then I think, oh man, you didn't do your job. Oh man, everybody's going to fucking leave. They're not going to listen now. Nobody's going to want to fucking go again and give you any of the time of day. And I'm like, man, that just seems fucking crazy that you would think that about yourself. People have been on board for 10 years. 1 week, you think you're going to lose them all. But you know what? Yeah, I do. I really fucking do. I'm going to lose patrons. I'm going to lose listeners. I'm going to lose all those people. And it's my own fucking fault. And I get that because I fucking hid in the darkness of my goddamn skull this week. And it was my fault for not putting out a show in time. And I hope out of the fucking kindness of your heart and your ears and your iPod vaginas, you decide to stick on board and stay with me, whether it's Patreon or just listening. I'm glad you're here. I love you guys. I'm so happy you're part of this and that you're listening and you're experiencing this with me. I don't know if you're experiencing it with me. You're just sitting there while I'm fucking shouting it at you. That seems like a thing. But
that's
still, at the same time, if you want back on a
Connor.
Patreon, I totally
Yeah. You're a mean one, Mr. Schmidt. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Schmidt. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You got garlic in your soul, Mr. Schmidt. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Schmidt. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Schmidt. Given the choice between the two of you, I'll take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Schmidt. You're a nasty squirt. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of dirt, Mr. Schmidt. The 3 words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote, you're dirt. You're a rotter, Mr. Schmidt. You're the king of sinful sots. Your heart's a dead tomato squashed with moldy purple spots, Mr. Mr. Schmidt. Your soul is an appalling dump heap, overflowing with the most disgraceful assortment of deplorable rubbish imaginable. Mangled up and tangled up knots. Nauseate Mr. Schmidt with the noxious super nos. You're a crooked jerky jockey and you drive a crooked horse, Mr. Schmidt. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.